Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Jimmy John's Field for Game 37 of the USPBL season. Tonight's matchup features the Diamond Hoppers versus the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Dave Siseski alongside Rich Borland. Rich, big face back tonight for the Beavers.
Yes, ever since that horrible game for the Beavers where they were no-hit by Donnie Murray back on the 10th of July, they lost Nick Wilson in that game. And he is finally back tonight, this Beaver lineup. You would think without their star player, Nick Wilson, would struggle a little bit. But in those 4 games without Nick Wilson, they are 3-1. Like I said, they lost him July 10th to that groin/hamstring type of tweak. But only missing 4 games, so obviously that wasn't too big of an issue. Just one of those, want to keep him healthy, keep him safe,
right.
Don't want to lose him for a long term. But since then, like I said, this Beaver team, without their star batter in the lineup, Nick Wilson, they're still 3-1. A couple other guys to step up to the plate and to the challenge with Nick Wilson out has been Alex Bell and Miles Williams. Alex Bell in place of Nick Wilson at first base. Normally a DH. He has played third base once or twice in this season, but he's in the lineup because of his bat, let's be honest. He's 6 for 13 in this span without Nick Wilson. Had a grand slam and a home run in the same game. He's got 6 RBIs, 3 runs, and he is now currently the Beaver leader in RBIs with 22.
Now, you mentioned 2 home runs in that game. Let's also mention that was in the same inning as well.
Yeah, back on that game against the Utica Unicorns
in the 8th
inning. That team put up 15 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning combined to beat the Unicorns 15-5. Not that they needed it.
Including a 12 spot in that 8th inning there, which is remarkable for them. And they come into this game at 15-9. Also on the other side, we'll look at the Diamond Hoppers. The Diamond Hoppers are coming in with a little bit of momentum tonight, a 2-game win streak, including a 7-4 victory last night over the Utica Unicorns. Kind of riding on the coattails of a few guys offensively, Ryan Willard, Tyler Booth, Alex Delgado, and Chris Power all stepping up for them this season. Chris Power has been filling in left field, doing some backup catching tonight. He is starting for them and also DHing. He's shown a lot of speed as well. And as I mentioned, Tyler Booth, another name who's come on as far as the power department lies. He's been able to hit a home run. He hit a home run out to right field, a no-doubter a couple of games ago. So he's provided some punch in that lineup. Connor Root with a nice outing yesterday for them. They'll look to get another outing today. Let's look at the pitchers. Rich, today for the Beavers, who we got going?
Yeah, for the Beavers, they got Alex Kinch on the year for Alex Kinch. This will be his 8th start, his 9th outing for this Birmingham Bloomfield team. He's pitched 35 innings, given up 37 hits, so he does give up a quite amount of hits, but that's because he throws strikes. So he's just going to have to figure out when and where to throw those pitches, and he should be able to execute just finely. Giving up 12 runs, 12 walks to 30 strikeouts on the year, so that's pretty impressive. ERA is at a 3.08. Last time that these two teams faced each other back on the 14th, or excuse me, on the 16th, was the same pitching matchup. We had Jeff Connolly of the Diamond Hoppers face off against Alex Kinch of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Both guys went 5 innings pitched. Connolly's line, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. His counterpart, Alex Kinch, 5 innings pitched to 9 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout.
Yeah, so will be a rematch to the last time these two teams met. Conley and Kinch should be a good matchup, but now when we look at the offense, these two teams come in at 1-2, but right now the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers are just running away with a lot of numbers right now, leading the league, Rich, in average home runs and RBIs. So as you mentioned, they've been able to pick up the slack of losing Nick Wilson the last 4 games, but obviously the guy leads the world right now, especially this league, and everything offensively. So that's a bat that you get back there, so it only makes his team that much better.
Yeah, with the combination of Nick Wilson being back and this Beaver lineup outside of Nick Wilson staying so hot, we're going to see what Jeff Connolly can do tonight. As we mentioned, Connolly only making his 2nd start for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, his 3rd appearance. He's only pitched 7.1 innings so far for this green team. He's given up only 4 hits, 2 runs. Obviously not a ton of stats to work with, But one thing that I noticed, he's only thrown 1 walk to 8 strikeouts. So obviously he can throw strikes. He knows how to do those type of things with the baseball. A 2.45 ERA coming in today, keeping his batter's average at 160. So a small serving size, but what he's done so far in that position, he's done a good job.
And, Rich, that's going to be my key for the Diamond Hoppers today. You're going to have to get a good pitching matchup from there. We'll have starting lineups after the national anthem. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And we're back here at Jimmy John's Field. Like I said, game 37, clear skies, 80 degrees. Rich, why don't you give us the starting lineups for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers?
All right, let's get to it, Dave. Leading things off today for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, playing center field. Not your everyday fielder for this Diamond Hopper team, getting a shot today. Number 1, Joe Fiorino, he'll start things off. After him, Ryan Willard in the 2-hole. He'll DH today. In the 3 spot, playing right field, number 13, Tyler Booth. Batting cleanup, number 10, the third baseman, Alex Delgado. Catching today, batting 5th, number 22, Chris Power. As we mentioned, had a couple of steals in his last outing. Batting in the 6th spot, playing first base, number 14, Jamie McMillan. Batting 7th, the left fielder, number 20, Colin Willis. Batting 8th, the shortstop, the everyday shortstop, number 7, Ricky Castro. And rounding out this Diamond Hopper lineup, number 2, the second baseman, Cam Stewart.
And for the defense, for the Beavers, Pepe, Richards, and Williams in the outfield. Left to right in the infield, Kennan, Martinez, G, and Wilson. Alex Kinch on the mound, Ray Ortega, his battery mate, behind the plate. And as I mentioned, a rematch of Alex Kinch and Jeff Connolly on the mound. Should be an exciting matchup between these two, trying to keep these offenses off the board, Rich.
Yeah, both of these guys can throw strikes. As we mentioned, coming into this season, Connolly, 1 walk to 8 strikeouts, and Mr. Kinch, he has thrown 12 walks to 30 strikeouts. So a great pitching matchup. As we mentioned, the Beaver lineup with Nick Wilson back in there tonight. He will be playing first base, batting in the 3-hole where he normally stays when he is in this Beaver lineup. Excited. My matchup for the night, honestly, is Jeff Connolly versus this Beaver lineup. Should be pretty exciting, but Alex Kinch facing against this Diamond Hopper team who has won their last 2 games. We got everything you need here. We're just ready for this ball game to start.
Yeah, if you look at both pitchers, obviously Connolly only pitching in the 7 1/3 innings, but only the 1 base on ball on the season. And you look at Kinch, 35 innings pitched, just the 12. So you're going to see a lot of strikes today, and we'll see how these hitters fare and see if they can take advantage. But as the great words go, time to play ball.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
First off for the Diamond Hoppers today is going to be Joey Fiorino. As we mentioned, Luke Ortel normally in that spot, but Fiorino comes in here hitting .286 on the season. First pitch from Kinch is a ball low. Ortega picks that out of the dirt.
We did have our tarp out on the field. There was a little bit of showers about an hour before first pitch, but we're here, and the sun is showing, and so now we'll get into the action as Fiorino takes another ball.
The 2-0 pitch to Fiorino is a ball. So as we mentioned, there won't be many walks today. We get a 3-0 start to this game, so we'll see if Kinch can rally back here in this at-bat. The 3-0 is a ball high, so 4 pitches in a row, and that'll walk Joey Fiorino and put him on first here.
Last thing you want to do start off a game is to give up a walk, but when it's on 4 straight pitches, obviously Alex Kinch is going to have to figure it out here and hopefully work his way out of this, what looks to be an early jam, throwing no strikes so far through 1 batter.
And what do we say about leadoff walks?
90% of the time they're coming around to score.
That'll bring up Ryan Willard, who's been on fire at the plate, and he'll take a strike from Kinch. Ryan Willard, you can't say enough things about him since putting him in that lineup.
No, he is absolutely hot, and in fact, leading the Diamond Hoppers team in batting average at .339.
Ryan Willard, a DH spot today. The 0-1 is in there for a strike. Looks like an off-speed pitch there. Nice job by Kinch on that pitch, hitting his spot. So after going 4 pitches in a row with the walk, he has Ryan Willard down 0-2. Kinch sets, delivers, and that ball is going to be a little bit outside to put the count at 1-2.
Kinch's ERA coming into today, 3.08. 30 strikeouts in those 35 innings pitched. So we know he can do it. Obviously, that first at-bat to Fiorino, hopefully just a miscue.
The 1-2 pitch, just a bit outside there, as you saw Ortega hold it just a little bit longer, but that pitch clearly outside. That'll put it even at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Willard hits that to the shortstop, and that'll be 1. I don't think that was in time there, but the ball hit too slow, and G unable to turn that for 2. But good job there by Kinch to get that lazy ground ball in the infield.
Yeah, reason Willard made it to first base there simply, he hit the ball too slow, and DJ Martinez making a nice play, but in my opinion, if he charged that ball a little quicker, a little sooner, might have been able to get 2 there.
Almost had a, that would either, if that was hit a little bit harder, that would have been a tailor-made 6-4-3 there, but as we mentioned, the grass kind of ate that one up there, hit it softly, and Willard will reach there. That'll bring up Tyler Booth, as they mentioned in the pregame, as he takes a strike. Been another one of those names coming in at 333 who's really picked it up as of late and has been a big spark for this Diamond Hopper offense. Kinch sets. The 0-1. Booth will hit that into center field. Richards has that all the way, and he'll catch that for the second out. So an easy second out after a leadoff walk, a lazy fly ball, and a softly hit ground ball to the shortstop. Good job by Kinch.
Yeah, you know, one thing, that was actually huge. It might not seem like it at this point, but Tyler Booth batting in the 3-hole today, it's going to be tough to get this kid out. Booth, 18 hits in 17 games, so this guy here to stay, at least for right now, depending how well he does do in the next couple of weeks.
That'll bring up Alex Delgado. Delgado will swing and miss on that off-speed pitch there. Delgado picked it up as of late, coming in at 282 and 15 RBIs. So that will be second on the team with those RBIs. The 0-1 pitch. That one just missed. Must have been a little high. Looked good from up here, Rich.
Yeah, looked like a good pitch. Just didn't drop in early enough and did not cross the plate in the zone.
So that'll put the count at 1-1. 2 outs. Runner on first base. That's Ryan Willard. A swinging miss on that one. That one a little bit in the dirt, but looked like a fastball from Kinch. Delgado just came up a little late on that one to put the count at 1-2. 2 outs here. Kinch gets his sign, the delivery. Delgado hit that out to left field, but that was hit on a line to Dave Pepe, and that'll be the 3rd out. And we'll go to the bottom of the 1st inning. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland alongside Dave Siseski. Diamond Hoppers and Beavers facing off tonight as it is 70s night at the ballpark here at Jimmy John's Field. Eastside Diamond Hoppers put up a 0 spot in the top half of the 1st inning. Let's run through this Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver lineup before they get up to the plate for the first time tonight. Leading things off for the Beavers, playing left field, number 17, Dave Pepe. In the 2-hole, number 10, playing the third base as he does every day, Dan Kennan. Back into the lineup, as we mentioned pregame, as we are very excited to see, as he is healthy, number 6, Nick Wilson back at first base. Alex Bell, who did the job at first base while Nick Wilson was gone, stays in the lineup as he should with the way he's batting. He'll be in the cleanup spot batting for the DH. Miles Williams, number 18, batting in the 5-hole. He'll be in right field today. In the 6th spot, playing center, number 4, Kyle Richards. DJ G batting 7th, playing second base. He'll have his other DJ partner up the middle today playing shortstop, and batting right after him in DJ Martinez. And rounding out this Beaver lineup behind the dish today, number 99, Ray Ortega.
The defense for the Diamond Hoppers will look like this. Left to right, and the outfield is Willis, Fiorino, and Tyler Booth. Left to right in the infield is Delgado, Castro, Stewart, McMillan, and Power. And as we mentioned, Jeff Connolly on the mound, making his 2nd start of the season. This is his 3rd appearance overall. Comes in with a 2.45 ERA, 7 1/3, 8 strikeouts, just the 1 base on ball. So been effective so far on the season. First batter for the Beavers will be Dave Pepe. Pepe playing left field. Comes in here hitting .337. So done a good job here. First pitch to Pepe is a strike right down the middle of the plate there.
Yeah, Dave Pepe on the year, 12 walks, but he leads the team in hits with 30.
Pepe hits that to center field. Fiorino will jog underneath that one and make a nice running catch there. So made that look easy, but a good job by Fiorino getting that first out. Pepe gave that ball a ride there. Pepe got some good speed, so if that ball gets over the head of Fiorino, he's looking 3 all the way. But that will be the first out on the nice catch by Fiorino and bring up Dan Kennan, another one of those names who's been producing all year long.
Yeah, and there's a reason he's in this lineup day in and day out, leading this Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver team in plate appearances with 106.
First pitch to Kennan is taken up a little high there on that fastball from Conley at 89 miles an hour.
This is game 25 for Mr. Kennan. No one else has participated in as many games. Dave Pepe and DJ Martinez have played 1 game below him.
Kennan will pop that foul behind us here. That'll put the count at 1-1. 1 out. Scoreless. We're in the bottom of the 1st inning here. Conley on the mound. Jeff Conley making his 2nd start of the season. The 1-1 pitch. Swung and missed there by Kennan. Nice off-speed pitch from Conley, who's doing a good job early on mixing that fastball in with that changeup.
Yeah, and he can throw both for strikes. His whip's at .68, leading this Eastside Diamond Hoppers staff.
The 1-2 pitch. Nice pitch there, just a little bit high on that. Looked like a curveball there from Conley.
Yeah, an off-speed pitch high. Dan Kennan, it's one of those pitches where you want to get the batter to chase, and It looked good up here, and honestly, if I was standing in that batter's box, I probably would have swung at that one, but there's a reason I'm up here and Dan Kennan's in the box.
2-2 pitch there is hit foul by Dan Kennan. But, yeah, as you mentioned, that was a close pitch there. Kind of a close pitch to take, but Kennan, as he's proven all season long, a guy that makes a lot of contact, has a good eye up there, has been very, very effective in that 2-hole, hitting .322 in this one, doing a good job in front of these big batters in this lineup as he takes a ball there to put it full. But you got Nick Wilson on deck here, so you want to do anything you can, Rich, to get on base.
Yeah, between the two of these guys, even though Nick Wilson's missed a few games, the two of them leading the team in walks. Nick Wilson with 15 walks on the year, Dan Kennan right behind him with 13. Make it 14, now he's one behind.
And that'll be ball 4. That'll be a walk for Dan Kennan in a big spot here with Nick Wilson, the return of Nick Wilson to this lineup. You got to think this team is just ecstatic to get him back and healthy, and they were able to go 3-1 in that stretch. So, not a panicky time to hurry up and get him back. That's a great job by this team to come together and get some team victories.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason these guys are in first place. Nick Wilson has carried the team all season long up until he departed with that injury. But other guys have picked up the slack, and there's a reason this Beaver team's in first place.
First pitch to Wilson is down the pipe there for a strike 1. So good job by Conley. 90 miles an hour on that fastball.
One thing you're going to have to pay attention here. Obviously, it's happy to see Nick Wilson back in the lineup, but you do wonder if he is at 100%.
The 0-1 pitch is taken up high. Yeah, that's a good point, as Chris Power will have a little bit of meeting there with Conley, trying to get on the same page. Very important to get on the same page if indeed Nick Wilson is healthy. And if he's not healthy, you have to think he's at least at 80%. I don't think that he'd be in the lineup if not be, with his team going 3-1. His future very important. You want to protect a guy like this, but
I feel like he's one of those guys where even if he's on the bench, he's still asking every day, Coach, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. But it's smart. It's smart by the Beaver coaches to let him rest a couple of days.
The 1-1 pitch is taken for strike 2 there. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 outs. And Dan Kennan at first base, bottom of the first inning. Jeff Conley on the mound, the 1-2 pitch. And Conley will throw to first base as Kennan's back in there sliding. So trying to keep Kennan in there. Not sure if maybe they would have a hit and run on here. You definitely don't want to be the second out with Nick Wilson up to bat.
Yeah, I did see Kennan make a move towards second base as Connolly brought that leg up.
The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed for the second out of this inning. And that'll be the first strikeout on the day for Conley. Good pitch there, and good job of mixing in the off speed with the fastball.
Yep, the famous Nick Wilson, not too much for the pitcher. Jeff Conley, the left-hander, did a good job executing his pitches, and he's going to have to face another tough at-bat, as we're going to see through this Beaver lineup. A lot of success in the past couple of games. Going to be a tough matchup, but Conley doing his job so far.
Conley gets his sign and pitches to Alex Bell, who hits that foul. Rich, coming into this game, Alex Bell hitting .441, 3 homers, 22 RBIs, 26 hits on the season. That's remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, he had that grand slam and home run back against the Unicorns in the same inning.
The 0-1 pitch is swung on a little bit late there by Alex Bell. That comes directly back at us in the screen, and that'll put it at 0-2. So good job by Connolly getting ahead of these hitters after walking Kennan on a full count pitch.
Alex Bell now in his 15th appearance for this Birmingham Bloomfield team, leading the team in RBIs.
As Conley will step off and throw back to first there to make sure Kennan doesn't get too big of a lead. 0-2, 2 outs. Connolly throws again over to first base. So not sure if they're thinking maybe might be a hit and run going on here with 2 outs, trying to get something started here. But
yeah, you got 2 strikes on the batter, Bell. Dan Kennan, a lot of speed over there on first base, try and work anything.
The 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed for the second strikeout of this inning and the third out of the bottom of the first. We're going to go to the second inning here. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And we're back for the top of the second inning here as Alex Kinch back on the mound. Good job from both pitchers, Rich, getting out. No runs, no hits.
Yep. We talked about how much power and how much depth the Beaver lineup has. Nice to see Jeff Connolly work his way in there, and he did have the one walk, but also 2 strikeouts to two of the biggest hitters in this Beaver lineup, Wilson and Bell. Got them both to swing. You got Power, McMillan, and Willis coming up for the Diamond Hoppers. A lot of action coming your way here.
First pitch from Kinch is hit down to the third base, but that'll be foul. Kennan picks it up anyways, throws it back to Kinch. Chris Power coming in, hitting .357, no homers, 3 RBIs. But he's really provided a spark in this lineup ever since being inserted. Yeah,
definitely. He's great with the bat. He does everything he can to help out this team catch-wise as he takes one pitch low and away to even the count up in 1-1. And as of late, we've noticed Mr. Power pick his speed up a little bit, had 2 stolen bases in his last start.
That'll be a swing and miss there from Chris Power to put the count at 1-2. Good job by Alex Kinch on that off-speed pitch. Kinch getting that ball and ready to work. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Ball will get away, and Ortega will throw it on to first base for the first out on a strikeout there. So good job by Alex Kinch to get that swing and miss from Chris Power.
Yeah, first strikeout of the game for Mr. Kinch. Now he's going to come up against Mr. Jamie McMillan. McMillan on the year has 11 strikeouts. 15 strikeouts, 4th in the team for strikeouts.
McMillan hits that to Martinez at shortstop there, and Martinez will get the easy out. So 2 quick outs. Good job by Alex Kinch.
Yeah, efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Even though you know you got Nick Wilson back in your lineup with the guys that are already in that lineup every day, you know you're going to end up getting some run support, but it's never enough, and you always want to do your best out there. And Alex Kinch looking pretty good so far. He's got the 1 strikeout there against Power, and he's grooving right now on 70s night.
First pitch to Colin Willis, the newcomer, is a ball outside. Colin Willis been red hot last couple games, picking up a couple hits in each. The 1-0 pitch to him is popped up in the infield. This is Dan Kennan. Dan Kennan battling it a little bit, and he'll able to catch that one for the 3rd out. No runs, no hits. We're still scoreless. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd inning here. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And we're back for the bottom of the 2nd inning. Jeff Connolly back on the mound. Good job by Alex Kinch and Connolly early on, Rich.
Yeah, both of these guys doing an admirable job up on the mound. We've talked so much about how much talent this Beaver lineup has, and Jeff Connolly doing a phenomenal job so far. Obviously, it's only been 1 inning, but he's got good stuff so far as he faces Miles Williams, Kyle Richards, and DJG coming up here to start off the bottom of the 2nd.
You never feel safe, though, until that last out is recorded. As we mentioned, 15 runs their last game against the Utica Unicorns, and all of those 15 runs were scored in the final 3 innings. So yeah, it's never over until it's over.
Exactly. It's a beautiful sight when teams can rally late, and who knows what type of fireworks we'll have here as Miles Williams swings and misses at his first offer from Connolly.
Speaking of fireworks, this is a man that can create a lot of fireworks with that bat. A lot of power in there at 301, 5 homers, 21 RBIs. The 0-1 pitch from Conley is swung on and miss. Put the count at 0-2. This is a very aggressive batter early on in the count, so finds himself in a lot of these 0-2 counts, but still comes in here at 3-0-1. And as I mentioned, 5 homers and 5 no-doubters off the bat of Williams. The 0-2 pitch is a ball high.
Yeah, you talked about Williams being an aggressive hitter. Can be fortunate for the right-hander against pitchers that end up throwing lots of strikes. Connolly, one of those guys, so a matchup to pay attention to here today.
And that'll be strike 3 on the off-speed pitch to Miles Williams. That'll be the 3rd strikeout on the day.
3 in a row, too.
For Connolly, and yeah, that's 3 in a row, so really finding his groove here early on against the heart of this Beaver order as well.
Yeah, we knew coming into today that that 3-4-5 lineup for this Beaver team, Wilson, Bell, Williams, they're going to do a lot of damage, but first time through against the left-hander, they're seeing nothing but Ks.
That'll bring up Kyle Richards. First pitch to Richards is a off-speed pitch there. A lot of movement, kind of sweeping over home plate there, but be a little high for ball 1. The 1-0 is a ball high to put it at 2-0, so 1 out. Bottom of the 2nd inning here, no score. Jeff Conley on the mound. The 2-0 pitch. Just miss on the outside corner there. Conley wanted that one and looked a little close from up here. Just a touch outside to put it at 3-0. The 3-0 pitch from Conley is a ball 4. So working pretty fast on the mound there.
Yeah, working fast. I mean, that's how you want to approach this Beaver lineup. The quicker you work, the harder it can be for this lineup. But when you work quick, sometimes you work a little too quick and your location can suffer from that. So you got to find a happy medium between trying to get ahead of these hitters, but at the same time staying efficient and throwing the pitches you want where they want it, when you want it.
That'll bring up DJG, the second baseman today. And G will take a ball. So 5 consecutive balls here from Connolly. The 1-0 pitch is another ball here, so that'll create a little bit of a conversation on the mound between Chris Power and his battery mate here. Just trying to calm him down a bit.
Yeah, you don't want to start hitters behind, and Chris Power just doing a good job. One of these leaders we've noticed on this Eastside Diamond Hopper team. He might not play every day, but definitely plays a role day in and day out for this team, whether it's catching in the bullpen or helping a guy get warmed up, and he does it all, and there's a reason he's in this lineup.
The 2-0 pitch is a ball outside, so having a hard time finding the zone here. That's 7 balls in a row, 1 out, a runner at first base. DJG up here after 7 pitches in a row, Rich, you have to think he's taking all the way.
Yeah, 14 strikes to 13 balls on the day for Connolly. Throws another ball. That one just missed, but either way, it's back-to-back walks after a leadoff strikeout to Miles Williams. Gonna have to really bear down if you're Jeff Connolly here. DJ Martinez, yes, he's batting in that 8 spot, but not a dull point in this lineup for the Beavers.
And, you know, another thing to mention as well, if you're thinking ground ball here, Martinez and G, both guys that run well. So going to be hard to double up Martinez here if you get that ground ball. Going to have to be hit hard. But if you're Jeff Connolly, he's been able to get the strikeouts today, so he's definitely got the stuff to pitch out of it. Yeah. As there's a meeting on the mound here of sorts to kind of calm him down and just reassure him, hey, you got this one.
Yeah, head coach Paul Nochi making his way back to the first base dugout. A little boost of confidence for his pitcher, and at the same time, as we noticed, the entire infield was in on that meeting. A situational talk and trying to figure out, hey, you get the ball, you're doing this with it. And want to make sure everybody's on the same page depending what the situation is. Whether it's a bunt, a ground ball, you name it.
DJ Martinez up there swinging aggressively on that first pitch, so kind of surprised he's swinging right there after 8 balls consecutive there, but he is aggressively swinging, and that'll put him down 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Conley sets, delivers. That'll be a ball low to put it at 1-1.
Yeah, if you're Connolly, you definitely want to retire this hitter. We mentioned how much speed is already out on the base pass with Richards and G, but Martinez, the team leader in stolen bases with 4. So if he gets out there as well, it's going to cause quite a ruckus.
The 1-1 pitch. Martinez will hit that softly to second baseman Stewart. He'll throw to Castro, unable to turn 2. So just as I mentioned, you get that ground ball, it's got to be hit hard because there are no for sure double plays with Martinez up to bat.
Yeah, that was a great play there, actually, by Cam Stewart. With how slow that ground ball was hit, I didn't think he was going to be able to get the runner DJG out at second base with his speed. But without even thinking twice about it, Cam Stewart picked up that baseball, and before you knew it, it was out of his hand and just beat the runner running to second base. A fortunate out, as they now have 2 outs with the catcher coming up to the plate, Ray Ortega. If it's a ground ball, you don't need to worry about turning 2 anymore. You can just loft it over to first.
First pitch to Ray Ortega is taken in there for a strike. You mentioned Cam Stewart wearing the high sock look today. Also with his fellow infielder Ricky Castro. So with the gray uniforms, black hats with the green tip. Ray Ortega hits that to Conley. That'll deflect off him. And unfortunately for him, that'll be the first run of the game for the Beavers. So kind of unfortunate there. If you have to think if Conley gets out of the way of that one, that's an easy out number 3. But instead, 1-0 Beavers.
Yeah, and with the sport of baseball that it is, you just sometimes react. And unfortunately for Jeff Connolly, this time it didn't work out. He didn't get the ball stopped quickly enough, and it ricocheted out of the way of any of his other fielders, and there wasn't enough time to make the play. Unfortunate circumstance, but either way, if the Diamond Hoppers want to win this ball game, they're going to have to attack Alex Kinch, get a couple of runs on the board anyway. So not the end of the world for the Diamond Hoppers, but obviously a tough situation.
First pitch to De Pepe. Runners both going, and they're safe there. That was a throw down to third base, but Martinez safe, as you mentioned, the team leader in stolen bases collects another one there.
Yeah, 5 on the year now for Mr. Martinez, leading that team now with runners on second and third, and the speedster as well, Dave Pepe, up to the plate.
Pepe hits that to left field. That's hit deep, but a running play, and that falls out of the glove of Colin Willis. That's a tough break there.
Yeah, on the run, right in front of the wall, down the left field line. That ball honestly never hit the ground, Dave, but not making the play. Colin Willis started to slow down as he started to come in contact with the baseball, and it ended up falling onto the tarp that's laying out there on the warning track. Unfortunate circumstances, and could be really unfortunate for this Diamond Hopper team if they can't get out of this one.
That'll put the count at 0-2. And Pepe will pop that up again. We'll see if that one's out of play, and it will be. That is a souvenir for a fan. But going back to the Colin Willis ball out there in left field, you really have to pick up your pitcher when he's been kind of laboring in this inning, struggled a bit after a easy first inning for him. Just a tough play, and those sometimes can be the difference between a win and a loss. So we'll see if there is damage done after that, but it'll put the count at 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to Dave Pepe is a ball low, so off-speed pitch there to Pepe, and showing some patience. The leadoff hitter for these Beavers. That'll put the count at 2-2, 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch. Pepe hits that into center field there. What a play by Cam Stewart just to get to that, but that'll bring in another run. So, as we mentioned, tough play there by Colin Willis, unable to make the catch, and Richard came back to bite this team.
Yeah, Dave Pepe's 5th RBI of the year, a big one. Obviously not getting plenty of opportunities to drive in runs being in that leadoff position, but stepping up to the challenge there. Obviously not the hardest hit ground ball, but placed absolutely perfectly back up the middle past Connolly. Another one of those plays where he could have stopped it, and maybe that time it would have been a fortunate stop. You just never know. So he maybe have elected to let that one go, and maybe his player could have made the play behind him.
First pitch to Dan Kennan is a strike in there, but that will put Connolly at 41 pitches. We're just in the bottom of the second inning here, so tough spot for him. He's going to have to be efficient if he wants to extend this start, Rich. The 0-1 pitch is taken in there. Dan Kennan did not like that call, so a hitter that doesn't complain much in that 2-hole did not like that. He protests a little bit and steps out of the box there, but that'll put the count at 0-2, 2 outs. 2-0 Beavers, bottom of the second inning here. The 0-2. And they've picked off Dave Pepe there at first base. Ortega watching closely to try to score there. Unable to tag Pepe, but they finally get him for the third out. So not the way you want to end this inning, but 2 runs do score here. We'll go to the top of the third inning. 2-0 Beavers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And we're back here at Jimmy John's Field for the top of the third inning as Alex Kinch will take the mound. But, Rich, not to pick on Colin Wilson left field there, but you have to pick up your pitcher when he's been laboring. And because of it, a 1-run scored, 2-0 Beavers.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Connolly started the inning off with a strikeout. Then he walked Richards on 4 straight. DJG worked the full count walk. Ended up getting the second out at second base, but DJ Martinez reaching on the fielder's choice after that fly out, which would have been an inning-ending fly out with only the 2 walks given up. But unfortunate as Ricky Castro steps into the box, takes a ball inside. We got a lot of game left. If you're the Diamond Hoppers, you just got to focus on chipping away and getting 1 hit at a time and 1 run at a time.
And Castro takes a strike there to even the count at 1. Ricky Castro at shortstop today. The bat kind of heated up the last couple games, getting him a start here at short, where he's played most of the season until Ryan Willard showed up and has been kind of, you weren't able to take that bat out of the lineup, and he's been playing good defense as well. And that is a 2-1 pitch hit down the left field line, but that'll bounce into the Beavers bullpen to put it at 2-2.
Yeah, Willard getting the night off. Ricky Castro, like you mentioned, back in the shortstop position. Cam Stewart getting the nod at second, just given whether it's a day off.
And Castro hits that over Dan Cannon's head for a leadoff single here. So good job by Ricky Castro, and he went there yesterday for an RBI single. So not having to do too much, staying within himself, not one of those power hitters, but using that speed, getting on base. Good job by him. That'll bring up Cam Stewart.
Keep an eye out as Ricky Castro on the year. 3 stolen bases. He was caught twice, so 3 for 5 on the year. And now batting Cam Stewart, who does lead this Diamond Hopper team in strikeouts, so not sure if they're going to try a hit and run here.
Kinch will step off the mound there and look Castro back. So, as you mentioned, some speed down there and definitely on the scouting report. So Kinch making sure he keeps him close there. Kinch sets, delivers. Castro is going. The throw by Ray Ortega, and he'll have him by a mile there. So good throw by Ortega, a little offline, but strong throw Good job to get Ricky Castro.
Yeah, Ricky Castro obviously with some speed. Obviously, we mentioned a couple of stolen bases on the year, but
Did not
my
get the
opinion
best
there,
of a jump.
I was just going to say that he didn't get a really good jump, and there's a reason Ortega beat him by a solid 3-4 steps.
And kind of an awkward swing there by Cam Stewart, but you got to hand that to Alex Kinch as well, because he held him close at first base, a couple looks down there, and helped his catcher Ray Ortega, as Cameron Stewart will take another strike to put this count at 1-2. So good job keeping that runner close, and erases that leadoff single. The 1-2 pitch to Cam Stewart is a ball in the dirt to put the count at 2-2. 1 outs here. Top of the third inning, 2-0 Beavers over the Hoppers. Alex Kinch on the mound. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Good pitch there by Alex Kinch to get the strikeout. Another one for Cameron Stewart, as you mentioned, leading this team in one of those categories you don't want to lead, strikeouts.
26 strikeout on the year for Mr. Stewart. And he actually doesn't have the most in the league. Another player we've mentioned, the man who likes to swing early and often, Miles Williams, 29 on the year.
Got to bring up Joe Fiorino. First pitch to him is a nice off-speed pitch there, a sweeping curveball for a strike. So good job by Kinch on that, and that'll put the count at 0-1 with a ball there to even it up at 1-1, 2 outs. Joe Fiorino leading off here for Luke Ortel. The 1-1 pitch. Fiorino hits that down to third base, down to Kennan, but that'll be foul. Put the count at 1-2, but as we mentioned, Cameron Stewart doesn't have the numbers, though, of a Miles Williams, so you'll take the strikeouts from Williams, who's hitting for power and average so far in the season. The 1-2 pitch is not offered at, and that'll be ball 2.
Good eye there by Fiorino. Down in the count, 1-2. You know he's probably going to try and get you with something to chase, and it was a tough one to hold up on, but he did the job.
The 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit hard up to center field. G unable to dive and get that one, so a great job of hitting there by Fiorino on a 2-2 pitch from Alex Kinch.
Yeah, 6-pitch at bat there. And if I'm Alex Kinch, yeah, you lost the battle, but I'm just happy I didn't lose my life there. That was a liner right back up the middle. Kinch just getting out of the way of that one.
Yeah, that one hit really hard there, so that one would have stung there off Alex Kinch, but a good job of hitting there for Fiorino, and that'll bring up Ryan Willard, as we mentioned, as he swings and hits that foul, who's getting the night off from the field, DHing tonight for these Hoppers, and this is a guy who's been red hot in this lineup, hitting .339, leading his team, as you mentioned.
Yeah, you wonder what would have happened if Ricky Castro was still on the base pass here, though.
And the 0-1 pitch will be taken for a ball, 1-1, and you put a lot more pressure on that pitcher when he's got a pitch with runners in scoring position there. But when you run yourself out of the inning like that, you know, it makes it tough on your team, especially when you're down 2-0. The 1-1 pitch is hit foul. No, that will be just foul there. That was right on the line. That would have a very close call, but good call there by the umpire.
Yeah, home plate umpire Mark Stewart on the line, dead even, so it looked really close from up here, but he's right down that line, making the correct call, and the count is now 1-2 on the batter.
So it'll be 1-2, 2 outs. Runner on first. The pitch is hit to the third base Cannon. He'll go to second for the easy out there, and this will be the end of the inning there. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning, 2-0 Beavers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And we're back here at Jimmy John's Field for the bottom of the third inning. Dave Siseski alongside Rich Borland. Rich, so far you got to feel pretty fortunate if you're the Beavers, as the Diamond Hoppers kind of ran themselves out of that inning there.
Yeah, you put up the 2 spot there in the bottom of the second inning with a couple of walks and a couple of fielders' choices. Just moving guys, getting guys on, getting guys over, getting guys in. Beavers doing just that, and they're getting fortunate on the other side of the baseball with not necessarily a couple running mistakes, but just not the greatest awareness so far that we've noticed for the Beavers running game, in my opinion at least. I don't know if you're seeing that too, but Dan Kennan leading things off here for the Beavers in the bottom half of the third.
As he'll take a ball there. But Ricky Castro did not get much of a jump, and that's a guy with a lot of speed. That's the third time he's been thrown out this season, as Kennan, another foul ball out of play there to put the count at 1-1. But, you know, Ricky Castro, that's 3 times thrown out, 2 stolen bases on the season, or 5? Excuse me, 5 stolen bases on the season, been thrown out 3 times now, correct? Conley will deliver the 1-1 pitch here to Kennan. That will be a strike number 2.
No, three stolen bases. He was 3 for 5 coming into today, so now 3 for 6.
So 3 for 6 with a guy with that kind of speed. You got to get better jumps.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes even when you have that bad of a jump, I've seen guys go back to first base, but Castro decided to keep going and got out by a mile.
Kennan will hit that one foul on the right side, out of play there. So they'll keep the count at 1-2 for Dan Kennan. As we mentioned, came into this game hitting a healthy 322, 2 homers on the season, 15 RBIs, doing a good job at getting on base and doing a good job for these power bats behind him. The 1-2 pitch from Connolly. Kennan hits that down to third base, but that'll actually be shortstop Ricky Castro, who cut off the third baseman Delgado there to make a strong throw. Good job by Castro, and that would have been the easier play there. Delgado having to come across his body.
Yeah, the ball being thrown or hit into that 5-6 hole right in between. Alex Delgado ranged to his left, tried to make the play, but that ball was definitely playable for the shortstop, Ricky Castro, and he made a great throw across the body and across the diamond for out number 1.
Big Nick Wilson for the Beavers, and he'll be playing first base today for them. So nice to have the big first baseman back, as we mentioned, as he swings there. Might not be 100% after some of the swings we've seen from him.
Yeah,
Rich.
that last swing there, definitely not 100%. It seemed like he wasn't swinging, and then he realized that he probably should have, but just trying to get that groove back as
Wilson hits that to center field, but didn't get all of it on that one. And, you know, I think it's safe to say that's not 100% right there, but, you know, what you can get 80% out of this guy is is more than most players.
Like you're
kind of walking back a little gingerly there.
I was just going to say, you're running back towards the dugout. You hope everything's okay, but I don't think Nick Wilson's at 100%. Hopefully he'll be okay, and he'll be able to keep on trucking here for this Beaver team, as they are up 2-0.
Alex Bell up there taking a ball. This is one of those guys who really just kept raking with that bat when Nick Wilson went out. The 1-0 pitch in. Alex Bell will hit that out to left field, but that will be just a loud out number 3 as Colin Willis catches that, and that'll be the end of 3, and we'll go to the top of the 4th inning. 2-0 Beavers over the Hoppers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. We're back for the top of the fourth inning here. Dave Siseski alongside Rich Borland, Alex Kinch back out there on the mound, and he is behind a 2-0 Beavers lead over these Hoppers. Good job by Connolly to kind of rebound in that last half inning, but Alex Kinch has done a nice job today mixing in that fastball alongside that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, through 3 innings, he's got a couple of strikeouts, 2 to be exact. He's thrown 25 strikes, 16 balls. Not a bad ratio. A little bit more than he'd liked probably, but not that far out of range of getting at least 6 innings of work. We'll see if he'll be able to keep his skill up against this Eastside Diamond Hopper team, as we'll have the 3-4-5 coming up. Booth, Delgado, Power. So another tough inning here for Kinch. Let's see if he can work through it.
As Booth shows bunt there, kind of surprised by that one, but not able to make contact, and that'll put the count at 0-1. But, you know, you look at the infield there, Kennan was pretty far back on that one, so maybe testing him a bit, as the second pitch was in there for a strike to put the count at 0-2. Booth did not like that call.
I don't know if he liked that call or not. He might have been mad at himself even about trying to have that bunt attempt after that first pitch, as he takes a ball outside and the count goes to 1-2. That's honestly what I think it is, because that pitch looked pretty good on that 0-1 count. But either way, Booth, I understand why he tried to bunt there. He does have 4 stolen bases on the year, so he tried to get an easy base hit as he takes another ball off speed. That was a close one.
Yeah, that looked pretty close to take there, but a ball nonetheless. So the 2-2 pitch is another ball just a little bit low there in the strike zone. That'll load it up at 3-2 to Tyler Booth. The 3-2 pitch. Booth hits that past Dan Kennan at third base for a leadoff single. Good piece of hitting from Tyler Booth.
Exactly what you want to do leading things off here. You're down 2 runs against a pitcher who's doing pretty good so far through these 3 innings. And as we mentioned, Tyler Booth with that speed, we've seen it in the outfield. He also has quite an arm, but speed definitely one of Booth's best attributes. He can hit the ball too. He's doing quite a bit of everything lately for this Diamond Hopper team, as he's now in the 3-hole in the order. Alex Delgado lining out with a huge line out to left field in his first at-bat. Let's see what he can do here as he takes pitch outside for ball number 1.
92 miles an hour on that ball to Alex Delgado, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Delgado coming in hitting .282, 15 RBIs.
Delgado's 21st game of the year. He's tied for the lead with with McMillan.
The 1-0 pitch is not delivered as Kinch steps off and looks the runner back, Booth, at first base there. Kinch will set, gets his pitch. The 1-0 is hit up the middle by Delgado. Perfect piece of hitting as G or Martinez, neither of them able to get to that ball, so good piece of hitting. 2 hits in a row there for this Diamond Hopper offense. That'll bring up Chris Power.
And I don't even know if perfect's the right word for it. That was pinpoint. Just past the DJs there, up the middle. DJ Martinez, DJG, both laying out for that one, but the ball just running over second base, literally up the middle of the field, and Delgado placing that ball exactly where he should, and the Diamond Hoppers threatening as they have the leading run at the plate with no outs.
Chris Power up there to bat. First pitch, and he shows bunt, and that'll draw a ball there outside from Alex Kinch. So this is a guy that, no pun intended, has shown a lot of power. Kind of surprised you see the bunt there, but he does have a lot of speed as well.
Yeah, knowing he does have a little bit of a speed factor. I mean, you got runners on first and second base. You're down 2 runs with no outs. It's almost absolute for you to do this situation, laying one down. Hopefully he can get it down.
Power shows again, and he'll bunt that, but that'll be in the air. So a break as Nick Wilson catches that. Chris Power got to be upset with himself there, unable to get that down, and that's a big first out for this Beaver team.
Yeah, you get the first two guys to get singles to put runners on first and second. Perfect time to execute a sacrifice bunt down either line, and you pop it out to the first baseman. So instead of having one out with runners on second and third, if the bunt went accordingly with Jamie McMillan batting, it's now runners still at first and second with one down.
Jamie McMillan 0 for 1 in the day. Kinch sets, delivers, throws a ball in the dirt there. Put the count at 1-0.
Kinch 52 pitches through 3 1/3 innings, so starting to get up there a little bit. You wonder how far Chris Newell will let the right-hander go.
The 1-0 pitch. McMillan hits that sharply up to center field. Richards with a great running catch there. And Tyler Booth will tag up at second base and move over to third, but just a great play there by Richards in center field.
Kyle Richards off the jump or off the hit of that ball, got a phenomenal jump ranging to his right out there in left center field, making the catch on the run, and outside of diving for that baseball, he was as far as he could have been from where he started. But also heads up play there by Tyler Booth to tag up to go to third base to get that first run of the game for the Hoppers to third base. So they're 90 feet from scoring their first run of the game as Colin Willis steps up to the plate, and he's looking for his first hit of the ball game.
First pitch to Willis is a strike down the middle there. Good pitch by Alex Kinch. 90 miles an hour on that last strike. Kinch sets, delivers the 0-1. And that is another strike taken there by Colin Willis to put the count at 0-2.
Yeah, Willis quickly down 0-2. He's only struck out once so far through 3 games and 1 at bat.
The 0-2 pitch is a ball outside there, so it'll put the count at 1-2, 2 outs, 2-0 Beavers over the Diamond Hoppers here. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Runners at third and first. Colin Willis up there at the plate. The 1-2 pitch. Ooh, that one a little high there. Looked pretty good from up here, but just a ball. And that'll put the count at 2-2. So Deuce is wild here. The 2-2 is a ball outside. So big pitch here coming from Alex Kinch. You don't want to walk the bases loaded here, but.
Yeah, with that last pitch there, the 2-2 pitch, it was a fastball way out of the zone. It looked like Kinch missed his spot. He tried to paint on the outer half. That ball a couple inches off. So hopefully he can make his pitch here on the 3-2.
The 3-2 is fouled out of play behind us here. That'll be a souvenir, and we'll do it again here. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners at first and third. So Colin Willis trying to get that ever-important 2-out hit with runners in scoring position.
Not to mention that, but if he gets a base hit here, Dave, it'll be his first RBI of the season.
The 3-2 is a ball, so he'll have to wait on that RBI, but just a good job, a great at-bat there from Colin Willis, Rich.
Yes, sir. Moving Delgado over to second to load the bases. The speedster Ricky Castro stepping into the box. Anything can happen now. We've seen a couple base hits because of how quietly they've been hit off of the bat. You wonder if we'll see another situation here with bases loaded, Diamond Hoppers threatening as they trail 2-0 in the top of the 4th.
First pitch to Castro is a ball just inside there. That'll put the count at 1-0. 89 miles an hour in that last fastball from Kinch.
Castro singled last inning and led off the third, but was caught stealing.
The 1-0 is taken for another ball, so 2-0, nowhere to put him here. You have to think Castro's going to get a nice look here on this pitch.
Yeah, if I'm Castro, even though we got 2 outs here, you know if you're Kinch, you have to throw a strike. And if you're Castro, you know that too, so be ready to see something.
The 2-0 is a strike. Good job there by Kinch. Painted that outside corner.
Yeah, definitely a borderline pitch, but enough of the zone to get a strike. absolutely perfect pitch on a situation like that.
2-1. And the pitch to Castro is a strike 2 there, but that was a questionable pitch that could have went either way there, but making those pitches, hitting those inside and outside corners, getting the calls here to put the count at 2-2. So Kinch sets, delivers the 2-2. Castro hits that to center field, but right at the center fielder Richards to retire this side. So a couple hits, a few men left on base, left the bases loaded there, but no runs cross the plate. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And we're back at Jimmy John's Field. Dave Siseski alongside Rich Borland. Bottom of the 4th inning here. Rich, why don't you give us some of the activities going around on the ballpark here?
Yeah, we don't just have baseball here, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy John's Field, an array of possibilities and plenty of fun to be had day in and day out. Last night was Interactive Tech Experience night. Everybody got free USPBL season T-shirts. Tonight is 70s night. Tomorrow we got fireworks, free popsicles, Patron frozen margarita drinks for the adults, and Saturday will be $1 hot dogs as well as Paw Patrol being in the house, so that should be quite a show. And then Princess and Pirates on Sunday, and the kids eat free, so plenty of action here, not just baseball as we mentioned. So back out onto the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, Jeff Connolly.
And Miles Williams up to bat there. Will take a ball. And not just fireworks tomorrow, but the best fireworks around, Rich.
You better believe it. The show that these guys put on here day in and day out is an absolutely wonderful experience.
Swung on and missed there. Big swing from Miles Williams, as we've seen a lot of that this year, but that'll just be a strike to put the count at 1-1. Connolly sets, delivers. Williams hits that to left field, but that'll just be foul. That one had double written all over that one, Rich.
Yeah, not to mention double written all over it. Miles Williams, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, leading the team in strikeouts, but also leading the team in doubles. He has 9 coming into today.
So a powerful bat, which can occasionally will get the strikeout, as we mentioned, but delivers when he does make contact. The 1-2 pitch. Conley sets, delivers, and that'll just be another ball out of play to keep the count at 1-2.
Wind starting to pick up a little bit as the sun goes down here at Jimmy John's Field. The whole field under shadow. The lights starting to turn on, and baseball continuing.
The 1-2 pitch is a ball in the dirt inside there to Miles Williams. So that'll put the count at 2-2. No outs here. And the bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 Beavers over the Hoppers. Jeff Connolly on the mound. The 2-2 pitch. And that one will be very uncomfortable. That right at the lettering there to Miles Williams. He didn't like that one. He takes a little bit of a walk, cools off a bit, and comes back.
Yeah, and the tough thing that's going to be for Williams here, that was pitch 5 of the at-bat. It's a full count, so you got to readjust, get your focus back into the zone, and he did just that. Looks at another one, and he'll take a walk, and a leadoff walk. How much do we mention that?
Yeah, those come back to bite you 9 out of 10 times. And Jeff Connolly already down 2-0 to these Beavers. And as we mentioned, with an offense like this, you just can't give them breaks like that.
Nope. We know that this Beaver lineup's going to show up day in and day out, and come ready to play as they have the best record in the USPBL. So
Williams getting a good lead already off the bat there at first base. Not drawing a throw as Kyle Richards swings and misses on the first pitch there to put it at 0-1, 91 miles an hour on that last strike.
Yeah, Miles Williams 1 for 2 on the year. So he's got a stolen base and was also caught once. You wonder what he's going to do against the lefty Connolly.
The 0-1 pitch is a curveball that didn't break quite enough there. Nice movement on that pitch. Sweeping action, but just a little bit outside to even the count at 1-1. And now Miles Williams will get a throw over at first base. So Conley keeping an eye on him, letting him know he sees him down there at first. Conley sets, delivers. The 1-1 pitch is a ball outside. And now Miles Williams has the attention of the catcher, Chris Power, and Connolly, so doing a good job here.
Yeah, we know Miles Williams has plenty of power off the bat, but with that power, he does have a little bit of speed as he does play right field day in and day out for this Beaver team.
And that puts the count at 3-1, and I think I give Miles Williams a little bit of credit there as Connolly steps off.
Yeah, you can tell he keeps looking over there at first base, making sure he's not trying to take second, and it's having an effect on where Conley's throwing these pitches as he's down 3-1 here to Richards with nobody out.
The 3-1 pitch is ball 4. So back-to-back walks. Connolly having an issue finding the strike zone.
Yeah, the stirring has turned into a little bit of ruckus in that bullpen down there in right field for the Hoppers. You wonder how much Connolly has left in the tank. 2 walks here to start things. DJG coming up to the plate.
5 base on balls right now after that last one for Connolly. So just 3 innings pitched, just 2 hits, 2 runs, but 5 walks. Eventually that's going to come back and bite you in the butt.
Yep, command obviously an issue here for the left-hander. Not what you want, especially going up against Kinch, who's doing an admirable job so far.
G hits that foul down third base line. That'll put the count at 0-1. So eventually this lineup will take advantage of mistakes, and walks are a mistake, and that's 5 so far in the day, but 2 in a row from Conley. That's how you shorten that start, and as you mentioned, the bullpen stirring a bit here. The 0-1 pitch to DJG. G hits that to the shortstop. That gets by him, and all runners will be safe here as Williams moves down to third base. So not hit that hard, but hit it where nobody was able to get to that ball, and Castro showing some range, but just under his glove.
And that's one thing I've noticed. It's kind of been the story so far throughout the day for this Beaver offense. They might not be peltering the baseball and blasting it out of the park, which we've obviously know that they can do, that we've seen it time and time again throughout this year. But today they're doing the small ball. They're finding holes and getting guys on, getting guys over, getting them in, and credit to Chris Newell and his staff as this team's doing a good job. Not the way they normally would.
Yeah, DJ Martinez steps in there, takes a ball, so bases loaded, no outs. Martinez up there with a lot of speed. So this team known for a lot of power. The 1-0 pitch. Martinez swings and misses. As we mentioned in the pregame, first in average, first in home runs, first in RBIs, and it's not even close with some of those numbers. The fans will make a little bit of noise here. The pitch from Connolly is hit out of play. That'll put the count at 1-2 to Martinez. This is a big out here needed from Conley if he wants to extend this start here. So we'll see if he's able to get Martinez. Conley sets the 1-2. Just foul behind us.
Yeah, and there's so many different directions this game can go. Connolly, you got bases loaded, nobody out. You're around 70 pitches on the day. If he somehow gets out of this jam without giving up another run, he'll probably still be done. But
the 1-2 pitch, and that is fouled out of play as well. But, yeah, it's just been kind of a labor day for Connolly. As we mentioned, 5 walks, but the pitch count really getting high. we're not even through 4 innings here, so.
Yeah, and we mentioned coming into today, Connolly only 7.1 innings worth of work.
So he was already on a pitch count.
And it's only his second start, so
exactly.
That's another factor you're going to have to say here. You wonder if he gives up another base hit or another runner, he could be done for.
The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. A big strikeout there for Conley to get Martinez. So you're just a ground ball away from getting out of this inning after all of this ruckus we made with these 5 walks on the game.
And what a better time to do it than with Ray Ortega coming up to the plate. Nothing against Ray Ortega. He does have a single already in this game, but throughout this lineup, you got Pepe Kennan, outside of Nick Wilson, Alex Bell, Miles Williams, Kyle Richards, DJ D, GJ Martinez. All of those guys have speed.
Ortega hits that to the third baseman, Delgado, and right on cue, there's the double play. So a 5-3 double play there from Delgado to McMillan, and that'll end this inning. We'll go to the top of the 5th inning here. 2-0 Beavers over the Hoppers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And we're back at Jimmy John's Field. Dave Siseski alongside Rich Borland for the top of the 5th inning. So in that half inning there, Rich, we're able to see a lot of the fun that they have here at Jimmy John's Field as Nathan, a youngster here, having a good time today, able to have a little bit of a race on the base pads there.
Yeah, just another great promotion that this USPBL marketing and promotions team has put together. Freaky Fast Trivia, Freaky Fast Run Around the Bases, Dizzy Bat Race, Kiss Cam, you name it. It's quite a tremendous show. And
Thirsty Thursdays today as well.
Yes, sir.
As Cam Stewart will take a ball 1 there from Kinch. 92 miles an hour on that last pitch. So Kinch showing that he's still got a lot left in the tank. The 1-0 is a strike on the outside corner there. Good pitch from Kinch to put this at 1-1.
Yeah, fans, if you're just joining us, Diamond Hoppers down 2. Could have been a lot worse after the last half inning as Cam Stewart swings and misses to draw the count to 1-2. 2 leadoff walks for the pitcher Jeff Connolly to start last inning, then a single from DJG, and then he struck out a batter and got a double play induced from the catcher Ray Ortega as Cam Stewart takes a ball, evens the count up at 1-1. But Connolly, a couple too many walks throughout the game so far, but he got out of a jam.
The 2-2 pitch. Cam Stewart hits that sharply into center field in front of Kyle Richards. So good leadoff single there. Sharp one from Cam Stewart.
Yeah, through 4 innings of play, Alex Kinch at 67 pitches. Not where you want to be after 4, but still something to work with. Obviously, he's got a bullpen behind him, but
the key is he's given up no runs. So
exactly, yeah. So he's in line for the win. but leadoff runner on via the hit and Cam Stewart.
First pitch to Fiorino is a strike. So Cam Stewart, leadoff single. We've seen this already before, but they ran themselves out of the inning with Ricky Castro getting thrown out. So we'll see if the Diamond Hoppers can get something going here. The 0-1 pitch from Kinch to Fiorino. Kinch sets, and he steps off the mound, looks back to runner. So we've seen this just like before.
Yeah, we talked about how important it is to not let the leadoff guy get on. Outside of the second inning where Kinch had a 1-2-3 inning, the leadoff guy has got on via either the walk or a single.
The 0-1 pitch is hit down to the third baseman, Kenning. He'll go to second there, and he'll go to Nick Wilson. So we'll have a 5-4-3 double play. Good job by Alex Kinch to pitch out of trouble there.
Yeah, Alex Kinch throwing the pitch exactly where he wanted to, down and in on the batter, Fiorino. Fiorino with a lot of speed in the batter's box, but Dan Kennan makes tremendous plays at third base day in and day out, and he made another one there, getting the ball to second base to DJ real quickly to get the double play as Ryan Willard now in the batter's box from the right side. He takes his first pitch from Alex Kinch for a ball.
The 1-0 pitch from Kinch delivered, and that is a ball outside to put the count at 2-0. 2 outs here, top of the 5th inning. 2-0 Beavers over the Hoppers. The pitch, and Willard will hit that to Martinez, who will throw over to Big Nick Wilson for the 3rd out, and that'll end this half inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Beavers up 2-0 over the Hoppers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. We're back here at Jimmy John's Field for the bottom of the 5th inning. Dave Siseski alongside Rich Borland. Rich, I'm going to hand it over to you for the rest of the ball game to do the play-by-play. Also a pitching change as well, Rich.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, now pitching for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers is Jalen Miller. Jalen Miller started 2 games for this Eastside Diamond Hopper team, but it is his 7th appearance. He's pitched 10.1 innings worth of work, given up 11 hits, 14 runs, only 5 earned, 12 walks to 10 strikeouts. His record's 0-2 to spite him, but kid throws hard. There's a reason he's out there, obviously, and he can make his pitches when he has to, but Jalen Miller, obviously we mentioned he's had a couple of starts, and the reason for that being is how hard this man can throw. Little arid with the location sometimes, but head coach Paul Nochi taking a chance here with his right-hander, hoping to get the job done, limiting the damage. The Beavers with 2 runs on the day, but only 3 hits.
Yeah, so far not really doing much on the offensive side, but getting the hits when it's counted, and the breaks are going the Beavers' way so far today, and Alex Kinch has done a nice job. Doesn't have his best stuff, but he's been able to hit his spots and get through this game.
So, bottom of the 5th inning, Jalen Miller now on to pitch for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. First batter he will face for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers is number 17, Dave Pepe. Pepe flew out to center back in the first, singled in the second, as he swings and misses, and he's quickly down 0-2. Real quick, Jeff Connolly, the starter for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. Miller quickly ahead of Pepe, 0-2, and he gets him swinging, and it was a mighty ugly one.
Yeah, kind of an ugly swing there. Wasn't sure what was coming there. Good pitch by Jalen Miller, but back to Connolly. Not the start you wanted. Just his second start of the season, so plenty of time to rebound from that one, but 5 walks from a guy who came into this one with just 1 walk on the season. So you got to get that down if you want to have some success.
Yeah, Coach Paul Nochi giving Conley the start, once again his second start of the year, as the new batter Dan Kennan steps into the box. First pitch delivered to him was an outside fastball, and he takes that one for a ball. It's 1-0. Jalen Miller, as mentioned, obviously striking out the first batter he faced here tonight, Dave Pepe. Like I mentioned previously, can get a little out of hand with the location sometimes. You notice there that one not even coming close to the catcher, Chris Power, to the backstop and back, as he's quickly behind Dan Kennan, 2-0. Kennan on the night, still looking for his first base hit, did reach via the walk back in the first. He was the first base runner for the Beavers today, as he takes a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Didn't seem like he really liked that one. We've noticed recently Dan Kennan not getting as many calls as he would like. That's one thing I always try to preach. You're never going to get a perfect game from an umpire, but it's okay, as Dan Kennan swings and misses at this pitch, 2-2. As he looks back at home plate umpire Mark Stewart's probably still talking about that other pitch.
Well, I mean, it kind of throws you off your game. It makes you swing at pitches you normally wouldn't like to. It changes your approach. So not a guy that complains a lot, but seen a little bit of that going on today.
So Dan Kennan calling time, readjusting in there against the hard right-hander Jalen Miller. The 2-2 pitch, low and inside against Kennan, so the count will reach full against the batter Kennan.
And this is the last thing you want from somebody coming out of that bullpen, Rich, is to walk a hitter. You got to throw strikes here. As you mentioned, Jalen Miller has been kind of wild so far this season.
Dan Kennan fouls this one off. Good at bat here for the third baseman. No matter what the outcome is, making Miller throw some pitches.
Dan Kennan always seems to have at least a couple good at-bats in a game, makes a lot of contact, will not strike out a lot here.
As Kennan hits this one down the line, right at Alex Delgado. Looked good from up here, but
wow, that looked fair all the way.
Yeah, that one was really close. Home plate umpire Mark Stewart once again making that close call.
Very surprised on that call. And
yeah,
as you saw, McMillan pretty upset there down at first base, because that would have been a routine play. Deep in the hole there for Delgado, but with the arm that he has, you have to think that would have been a bullet down there for out number 2.
Yeah, Delgado doing a good job with the bat on the year, but we've noticed him step up recently with the glove in the field. 5-tool player over there at third base, as another 5-tool third baseman, Dan Kennan, really working this count here.
Yeah, Dan Kennan, like I mentioned, doing a good job. More pitches you see that will help other players with Jalen Miller up there. And no matter what happens in this at bat, it's already going to go down as a positive for Dan Kennan.
So pitch number 9, almost pitch number 9, as Dan Kennan calls time once again.
Miller almost delivered that pitch.
Yeah, that's why I kept talking. I thought he was going to go through with it. Thankfully, he held up, but yeah, 8 pitches so far in this at-bat for Dan Kennan, as the crowd starts to make a little noise here. The 3-2 pitch, just missing on the outside
Beautiful
corner.
at-bat.
Dan Kennan, tremendous at-bat there for the third baseman for the Beavers. So after a leadoff strikeout, 3 pitches to Dave Pepe, and Dan Kennan gets a 9-pitch at-bat walk.
With Nick Wilson coming up here, this is something to remember. That at-bat from Dan Kennan. And we know Nick Wilson, we've mentioned it a few times, not 100% because we've seen him walk gingerly. Not even sure where he's at. But if he can get a good swing on something, remember that Dan Kennan at-bat.
As the first pitch thrown to Nick Wilson is a ball high and outside. Nick Wilson still looking for his first hit since coming back from that injury. Struck out back in the first and flew out to center in the third. Another pitch thrown to Nick Wilson off speed, a little bit outside. It goes to 2-0, so you're going to want to make your pitch here if you're Jalen Miller. You got one of the best hitters in the league up against you, and you're already behind. Try to throw something low to force him to hit a ground ball. As he swings and misses on this one.
That swing
goes to 2-1.
That even looked gingerly for Nick Wilson there. I mean,
yeah, you don't want to predict anything, but
your legs are everything. You know what I mean? We heard that injury somewhere around there, but he takes another strike there. That was
great
a beautiful
pitch from Jalen Miller. Off speed, looked like a changeup. Started outside and then drifted into the strike zone. Nick Wilson can't do anything but take a look at it and tip the cap to Jalen Miller. You wonder what he's going to come back with here on the 2-2 pitch. He delivers the fastball a little bit low on the right-hander Wilson.
Big pitch here coming up because it doesn't get any easier. I mean, you have a 100% healthy Alex Bell on deck. That's a guy who hit 2 homers in 1 inning.
Yeah, we mentioned in Wilson's absence, Bell went 6 for 13. Obviously, a big reason why the Beavers continued success, but Nick Wilson not looking 100% with that swing once again. You hope everything will be okay, but
he's even walking back gingerly.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel for the big guy, but
coming into the game,
maybe a little too early to come back.
Yep, and sometimes that happens. You know, with the type of talent that this player has, sometimes you want to bring those guys back a little earlier. Not that the team was doing bad, because like we said, they were 3-1 without him, as Alex Bell looks at the first pitch from Jalen Miller as a strike. But
yeah, you said 3-1 without him. This is one of the biggest reasons right here, Alex Bell.
Yeah, definitely. So when one guy can't do it, others will step up. Not a ton of action, as the Beavers only have those 3 hits, even with the 2 runs, as Bell looks at another one outside. Seems like Jalen Miller not trying to attack the zone too much against the right-hander Bell here.
Seemed like he was overthrowing that last pitch there, but got to make that perfect pitch. And
swing and missing Alex Bell on that outside fastball. 2-1. Oh, excuse me. The count is 1-2. That first pitch was dropped by the catcher, Chris Power, but was in fact called a strike. So 1-2 the count on Bell. Miller throwing that ball just low. Not a bad 1-2 pitch right there, trying to get Bell to chase. It's exactly what you want to do with that baseball. Don't give him too much of the baseball to hit. Obviously, we know what Bell can do with it. So good pitch there on the 1-2 count from Miller. Let's see what he does with the 2-2 pitch. Absolutely lethal changeup. We saw him do it to Wilson once, and then he strikes out Bell with it there. So Jalen Miller with a couple of strikeouts in that 5th inning. We're through 5. The Diamond Hoppers still in the lead here. It's 2-0 in favor of the Beavers. So we're through 5. You're listening to the United Shore Professional Baseball League YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's broadcast between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Yesterday we celebrated a USPBL birthday, the pitcher of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, Jared Gaynor. A birthday today, Forrest Kumis celebrating his birthday for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. And would you look at that, a birthday gift for Mr. Kumis, predominantly known to start baseball games for this Birmingham Bloomfield team, but making a relief appearance. It's his 9th appearance. He's had 5 starts, so 4th appearance in relief as his first pitch thrown to the batter, Tyler Booth, is a strike. Forrest Kumis, as mentioned, predominantly a starter here for this Birmingham Bloomfield team. 29 innings pitched. He's given up 17 hits on the year as he throws a ball outside to even up the count at 1-1 on Tyler Booth. 7 earned runs in 29 innings, 26 strikeouts to 17 walks for Mr. Kumis as Tyler Booth grounds this one over to the right side of the infield where DJG will have an easy play from the second baseman. So 1 up, 1 down for the birthday boy. Kumis doing his job so far. Nice to see Coach Chris Newell give the birthday boy a little bit of action here. You wonder how many innings he will go, obviously knowing him as a starter. So.
Yeah, it'll be Kumis' 24th birthday today, so good birthday present there. An easy first out.
So the birthday boy will face off now with 1 out, nobody on. Alex Delgado looking at his first pitch thrown from Kumis. He'll take it for a ball. Alex Delgado singled back in the 4th. Tried to hold up on that swing, fouls one off. Count evens up at 1-1 apiece.
Forrest Kumis, whether he's been in the relief role or starting, he's been extremely effective, as you mentioned. 2.17 ERA, 4-0 on the season. So leads this league with those 4 wins as well.
The 1-1 pitch from Forrest Kumis, a breaking ball that was left right over the middle of the plate. Forrest Kumis beating himself after that one. So a leadoff ground out for Tyler Booth. Alex Delgado with the 1-out single. It's his 2nd on the day. Looking for his first hit of the ball game. Now stepping into the right side batter's box is Chris Power.
Chris Power, somebody, as we mentioned, everywhere you slot him in that lineup, he just continues to hit. No hits so far today, but it's the perfect time for him to get this rally going.
Kumis' first delivery to Chris Power, high and inside for a ball at 92 miles an hour. Chris Power, 14 of 42 on the year. He takes another fastball way inside there. Alex Kinch's day obviously done. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts facing 20 batters. Kinch out there for the quality start, and if everything holds for the rest of this ball game, he'll end up getting the W. Forrest Kumis staying inside on Chris Power. Seems like a little bit of a scouting report as every single pitch has been on the inside paint of that batter's box.
Yeah, that'll put this count at 3-0, but back to Kinch. You'd like to extend that start, but a good quality start from him on the day is that'll be ball number 4 for Chris Power. So suddenly it gets a little interesting here with the birthday boy on the mound, but 1 out. Chris Power on first base with that walk. Delgado at second base, and that'll bring up the big, good hitting first baseman, McMillan.
Yeah, Jamie McMillan still looking for his first hit of the game as well, but coming into today, as mentioned, tied with Alex Delgado in games started. This is the 21st game started for those two. Jamie McMillan leading the team in walks. He's tied with Cam Stewart at 13. So first pitch thrown to McMillan, obviously mentioning team leader in walks with that good eye. Looks at that first delivery from Forrest Kumis for an outside pitch. No action in the bullpen for the Beavers, but pitching coach now out for the Beavers, as well as Ray Ortega visiting him just to make sure everything's okay. Obviously with the single and the walk with McMillan up, a little bit of calming. Obviously.
A little bit of a talk, too, for McMillan and Nochi as well. So
True. Yeah, a bunch of strategies being relayed back and forth for both of these teams for a situation that has plenty of opportunity for different options of how it could end up. McMillan obviously not the fastest guy in the ballpark, so a ground ball could definitely turn into 2 with Delgado on first or on second, Chris Power over there on first base. Obviously, Kumis want nothing but a ground ball here as he keeps this one low, but out of the strike zone, and it goes to 2-0. So really going to have to bear down here with only 1 out and a runner and runners on first and second.
Yeah, very, very important pitch here to McMillan.
The 2-0 pitch, just getting a piece of that outside corner. McMillan reaching out, saying, I don't know about that one, but Kumis getting the call there. Kumis on the night, 7 balls to 4 strikes. So still trying to work it with the command. He looks back at second, delivers the 2-1 pitch. Looked just about the same spot as the last one, but just a pinch out more outside. So 3-1 now the count.
Yeah, this is the biggest pitch of the game for the Beavers here, as you do not want to load the bases here in this situation.
Huge swing and a miss from Jamie McMillan there. He was trying to take that one over the hill in right field. So the count reaches full. Catcher Ray Ortega out to give signs just in case of a hit and run steal type of action. We'll see what happens here. Forrest Kumis with the biggest pitch of his night for his birthday. The 3-2 delivery is swung on and missed. Jamie McMillan goes down swinging. So great job there by the pitcher, Forrest Kumis, to get back into that count and work his way through it. A huge second out with runners on first and second there to get McMillan.
Yeah, and 29 innings pitched coming into this game, 26 strikeouts for Forrest Kumis. So definitely a guy that will strike out a lot of batters as he started and been in relief here, but a big out there for Kumis. Colin Willis up there at the plate.
Yeah, Colin Willis batting from the left side. First pitch he takes from Forrest Kumis is a ball on the outside corner for a ball. Colin Willis mentioning one of the new faces of this Eastside Diamond Hopper team. His 4th game for the team in green, even though they are in gray tonight, as he takes a strike on the outside half. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers repping their all grays tonight, their alternates, and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers supporting their white pinstripes as they do for most home games. Kumis, the 1-1 delivery, he tried to bring the off-speed stuff, but left that one hanging, did not come down and finish in his delivery there. The count goes to 2-1 on the batter, Willis. Willis did reach via the walk back in the 4th to load the bases. Mentioned they got out of it there with Castro flying out to center back in the 4th as Willis takes another one. The count goes to 3-1 with 2 down and runners on first and second. Kinch fell behind against McMillan and then comes back to strike him out. You wonder if he'll be able to do that 2 times in a row with a little bit of threat on the base pass as he gets Willis to swing and miss there. So he's setting up for it for a big comeback.
This will be a big pitch here to Colin Willis. This is a Bulldog on the mound. Game 1 starter in the College World Series, 2 years for South Carolina. So this guy he loves the big moment.
Yep. And
big moment here.
And he can definitely deliver. Let's see if he does. The pitch thrown to Colin Willis is fouled off into that left field area, into the bullpen for the Beavers, as one of the bullpen pitchers will give that one to a fan.
But as I was saying, he loves that big moment. He's used to being in the spotlight. He's been the guy. I mean, he is one of the guys on this team. They've counted on him out of the bullpen and starting. So big spot here for Forrest Kumis, and if he can get out of this, you might see a nice fist pumps. Yeah, this would be a big spot.
The former Gamecock birthday boy, the 3-2 delivery And once again, fouled off by Willis. Good job of Willis
Colin
protecting.
Willis, I mean, as you mentioned, newcomer here, but he's looking pretty comfortable there up at the plate here, working a 3-2 full count here, fouled off a couple pitches, a couple good pitches by Forrest Kumis.
So Willis with the good approach tonight, as we mentioned, already walked once. If he walks here to load the bases, it'll be a big one. Forrest Kumis with the full count, 2 outs. Obviously, runners will be going on the pitch here. Smart of him to go check on the lead runner, Alex Delgado, at second base to try and catch him jumping early. But he's ready to deliver now. Forrest Kumis. Check Delgado again, delivers the 3-2 pitch. This time too far inside. You wonder if Delgado got in his head a little bit there and he happened to take his focus off of the pitch for a second.
I mean, Delgado and then Colin Willis, because Colin Willis, let's remember, fouled off a few pitches there, good pitches from Forrest Kumis. And, you know, you can only make so many pitches like that when eventually you're going to throw a ball. So Colin Willis gets the credit for that walk, but as you mentioned, Gonzalez kind of distracting him a bit. So Ricky Castro, somebody with speed, already has a hit already today, and he can be one of those pests on the bases as well. So
Ricky Castro hits a line drive grounder up the middle, goes off of the pitcher's glove for Forrest Kumis towards second base to DJG. He'll step on second base to get the final out. Kumis not too happy with his outing, but either way, gets out of the jam without giving up a run. So the Beavers get out of that jam. They're still up 2-0 here. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're listening to the United Shore Professional League YouTube channel.
new pitcher on the mound as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here. It will be the 6'5", 200-pound right-hander from Southeast Missouri State, number 8, Jacob Lawrence. So, as we mentioned time and time again, new players come in as other players leave. Opportunities, opportunities, opportunities. And when opportunity knocks, you want to make the most of it. So, Rich, this is a debut for Jacob Lawrence.
So Jacob Lawrence making his USPBL debut. As you mentioned, awesome to see guys get new opportunities. That's what this league is for. Not only new beginnings, but new faces day in and day out. Jacob Lawrence having to face off against Miles Williams, so good luck in your first plate appearance matchup against Miles Williams. The first pitch thrown, an off-speeder for a strike. A nasty pitch.
Kind of a different delivery there, almost like he short arms it, but.
The 0-1 pitch, another off-speed pitch to Miles Williams. He thought about swinging at it, elects to hold back, but Jacob Lawrence, like you said, a little bit different type of unorthodox delivery.
I mean, I can't even really describe it because I can't tell you anybody else that throws like that.
Miles Williams flies this one deep to right field, just in front of the warning track. To make the catch is Tyler Booth. So Jacob Lawrence, 1 up, 1 down. It's a good start in your debut for professional baseball.
Yeah, good job by Jacob Lawrence. As we know, we've seen a couple guys, you know, when you get that first action, you get the butterflies going, you get a little bit of nerves, and Jacob Lawrence not showing that right now. And when you get that first out like that early on, it can kind of settle down some of those thoughts, some of those nerves, and you really settle in and you get comfortable on that mound.
Hopefully the comfortability stays in the pitcher, because Kyle Richards now in the batter's box. He is yet to be retired. Walked 2 times so far tonight. Came around to score for the first run of the ball game back in the second for the Beavers. Lawrence's first pitch thrown to Kyle Richards is swung on and missed. Seemed to be some type of off speed. It says 89 miles an hour up on the board, but
that
lot of
can't be
movement.
right. That looked off speed from up here.
I mean, maybe he's got the best of both worlds. Jacob Lawrence's pitch is moving a whole lot, as the second pitch thrown to Kyle Richards is a ball
good,
just low, but yes.
A lot of movement on that pitch. If he's throwing an off-speed pitch at 89, then
good luck.
he won't be here long.
No.
He can get a call from the big leagues.
1-1 pitch thrown to Kyle Richards, high and inside. Count goes to 2-1. Kyle Richards coming into the day, batting .208. This is his 19th game for the Beavers. Pitch is swung on, popped up, shallow in the infield. Cam Stewart over there at second base to make the easy out. So a couple of flyouts here for the new pitcher, Jacob Lawrence. Looking sharp, mixing up the pitches. Obviously, we see why he's here, throwing a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, I like his stuff so far. Definitely looks like if he can keep getting outs like that, he's going to stick around for quite a while. But good job of mixing in that off speed with that fastball.
So with 2 outs, nobody on, DJG now stepping into the batter's box for the Beavers. Another great job here by Lawrence to get ahead. He's pinpointing these pitches, and it seems like accuracy is a tale for this right-hander. 0-1 pitch, swung on and fouled off, out of play over towards M59. As we mentioned, great location here for Jimmy John's Field. Not only do we have everything, but location absolutely superior. A great outing for any family or group of friends. DJG down 0-2 early to Jacob Lawrence. Jacob Lawrence going right after the hitter. And sometimes when you go after guys when you're ahead of them 0-2, things like that can happen. So DJG with an 0-2 base hit, taking it the other way to right field. A 2-out base hit, keeping the Beavers alive here in the home half of the 6th.
Not how hard, but where it's placed. Say it almost every game, and DJG showing how that works perfectly there. And, you know, not hit hard, but it'll go down as a hit. And that'll bring up DJ Martinez here, the shortstop for the Beavers.
So Martinez struck out once, got on via the fielder's choice back in the second, had a stolen base. He stole third, and then came around to score on that Ray Ortega single. As Jacob Lawrence throws it over to first, keeping an eye on the base runner, DJG. Jacob Lawrence's first pitch thrown to DJ Martinez is driven off of the bat and off the top of the wall. DJ Martinez that close from a home run. Instead, he'll slide into second base with a double. DJG moving over to third. And the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers already up 2-0, threatening here with 2 outs. So after 2 flyouts for the brand new pitcher in his debut, Jacob Lawrence, a couple of base hits, the single to G and then the double to Martinez. The DJ's doing quite a bit of damage against the right-hander.
Yeah, I mean, came in here, Jacob Lawrence was doing a good job. You know, can still get out of this and make this a successful debut, but DJG just jumping all over that one, but still can get out of this one, and as I mentioned, be a successful outing for the newcomer, Jacob Lawrence.
He's going to have Chris Power, the catcher, come out, and they're going to make sure they're on the same page for pitches with the runner on second base now is DJ Martinez. Ray Ortega in the batter's box now. Last time he came up to the plate, the bases were loaded with one out only, and he ended up hitting a hard ground ball over to the third baseman, Alex Delgado, for the double play. So Ortega does have a single back in the second inning, but would be a huge spot if he could deliver for his team here as he takes the first pitch outside.
Big spot here for the Diamond Hoppers, who have done a nice job sticking in this game here. 2-0 Beavers right now, but they can do a good job from Lawrence if he can pitch out of this stressful situation.
1-0 pitch to Ortega, just inside, getting a piece of that strike zone. Count evens up at 1-1 apiece. With a 1-1 count, runners on second and third. Got to assume that the pitcher Lawrence is going to throw a strike here. Ortega ready for the 1-1 delivery. Just missing low was Lawrence there. Count goes to 2-1.
You have to think this will be a big at-bat here that could really have a big decision on this game here. As I mentioned, Diamond Hopper's done a good job sticking in this game at just down 2 runs here. So we'll see if Lawrence can pitch out of damage here as he throws a ball to Ray Ortega to put it at 3-1. You just don't want to load the bases here and be in that kind of spot in your debut if you're Jacob Lawrence.
Yes, you don't want to walk a guy, but it won't be the worst thing for you. Obviously, walks can hurt you in any way, but it would load the bases for a force as the 3-1 pitch just misses inside to Ray Ortega. He will, in fact, draw the walk. So bases are loaded. DJG reached via the single. DJ Martinez reaching via the double off of the wall down in left field. And then the walk here to Ray Ortega brings us back to the top of the order with bases loaded. Dave Pepe already with 1 RBI on the day. He singled back in the second to drive in Kyle Richards. Also flew out to center in the first and struck out to lead off the fifth. Dave Pepe swings at his first opportunity, drives it to left center field. Underneath it, making the grab is Colin Willis, the left fielder. So Hoppers escape a jam once again. The Beavers get a couple of hits, but don't get any runs across the board. They are still in the lead 2-0 as we head to the top half of the 7th inning, or excuse me, to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's stretch time here at Jimmy John's Field. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's broadcast. between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Through 6 innings of play, Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers up 2-0, but it could have been a whole lot worse if it weren't for some of the pitches these Eastside Diamond Hoppers have thrown in key situations. Jalen Miller and Jacob Lawrence in relief. They've done quite a good job making their pitches when it matters. Obviously giving up a couple of walks and a couple of hits, but regardless, they haven't given up any runs in relief. Jeff Connolly did a good job, too, to start this game.
Yeah, kind of struggled a little bit, too, with the 5 base on balls, but really he came back, he battled, and that's what you want to see. So good ball game we got going here from both teams. Both teams have played well. Good to see that from the USPBL, as we've seen so many good games this season. Both teams here, as we often say, we're not rooting for either team here, but we want to see everybody succeed.
Most definitely. So leading things off here to start the 7th inning for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers is number 2, Cam Stewart, the number 9 hitter. He gets just a piece of this baseball. It goes a dribbler down the line. Forrest Kumis tried to make a phenomenal play. He got the ball, made the throw towards first base, just a little bit low, out of the reach of Nick Wilson.
Cam Stewart looks like he might have, I don't know, tweaked something there. I'm not going to say he's hurt, but maybe just stretching a little bit there. But good job by Cam Stewart. That's like almost like a swinging bunt there for the Diamond Hoppers, and get that leadoff guy on here. So see if they can take advantage of that. Good play by Cam Stewart, showing some speed as well.
So we'll keep an eye on Stewart, make sure everything's good over there. But as you mentioned, he does have some speed. You wonder if he's going to try and steal his. The new batter, Joe Fiorino, we're back to the top of the order here. Fouls off his first pitch thrown to him. We've seen a couple of missed bunt attempts in this ball game. If you're told to bunt, you would assume throughout the years of your life in baseball, with the amount of practice that you've had, you'd hope to be able to get the bunt down and sacrifice yourself for the team. Just a couple of miscues here tonight for the sacrifice bunt attempts for both ways, as Fiorino tries to get the sacrifice bunt again, and he just misses as this one fouls off back towards Ray Ortega, the catcher.
And this is a guy, if he lays it down, can be trouble because he's got a lot of speed playing center field tonight. Usually Luke Ortel is leading this off and playing in that position, but you got to get those bunts down if you're either team. Move that runner up, but we'll see if Fiorino will be swinging away here. You have to think that bunt is off the table with 2 strikes.
So 0-2 the count on Fiorino. He holds back from the bunt, but he's swinging at this one. Slaps it down the line and right, about 5 to 10 feet off of the line. So good piece of 0-2 swinging there from the leadoff hitter, Joe Fiorino. If you can't bunt, you might as well stick in there and try and do everything you can to help your team out, as they are down 2-0 through 6 innings today. We're in the top of the 7th inning with nobody down. Eastside Diamond Hoppers trail, but they're threatening with nobody out and a runner on first base. The birthday boy, Forrest Kumis, getting his signs from his catcher, Ray Ortega. Didn't like what he got there. He's going to step off and readjust in there. And he is now ready for the 0-2 sign. He gets it, comes set, delivers the 0-2 pitch. A good 0-2 pitch. Might have left a little bit too much in that strike zone, but either way, another foul ball here against Joe Fiorino.
Yeah, defensive swing there from Fiorino, down 0-2, but good job by him to stay alive for another pitch. A couple pitches ago was just a little bit away from having a double down that line.
And this ball's driven down the left field line. Fiorino, he has not been thrown one ball in this count, but doing a great job. Even though he's missed a couple of bunts, he's sticking in there and still trying to do everything he can to keep this at-bat alive.
Yeah, doing a good job, Fiorino, to stay alive, as you mentioned. Been very aggressive there. We'll see if he can get a hit here for the Diamond Hoppers. As that
finally elects to lay off
the first ball of the at-bat there, but as we mentioned, Fiorino's been aggressive here. A couple pitches away, or a couple inches away from 2 doubles in this at-bat, so we'll see if he can straighten that swing up a little bit here and keep this rally going.
It's so important if you're Forrest Kumis to retire this batter with how long the battle's been. And it looks like he's going to get the job done as he jams Fiorino on the inside part of the bat off the hands, and he pops this one up to Nick Wilson over there at first base. So after a leadoff single for Cam Stewart and that long at-bat by Joe Fiorino, we got one down, and now batting is Ryan Willard. Willard reached base a couple of times via the fielder's choice, but still over 3 on the night.
This is one of those stud bats for this Diamond Hopper team. Is one of the best hitters in this league ever since he's been inserted in this starting lineup, coming in at 339, looking for his first hit today, but not a better time than the present for Ryan Willard.
Yes, the league average leader for batting average into the box now, and Willard facing off against the right-hander Kumis. First pitch is driven down the right field line. Another one of those close calls. Fortunately for Kumis, we could have a tie ball game or even worse pending a couple inches.
Yeah, I mean, a couple inches away from having back-to-back doubles there, but unfortunately, Fiorino, he popped out, and Ryan Willard was just a foul ball here. So down 0-1 here.
As Willard takes this off-speed pitch low, good stop there by Ray Ortega to not let Cam Stewart get in scoring position. Obviously, we got the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. Willard being the 2-hitter up now. The 1-1 pitch from Kumis, perfectly executed fastball on the outside half. Gets ahead of this hitter, Willard, 1-2. If I'm him, as in Forrest, I'm not throwing a pitch anywhere near the strike zone. Willard, one of the hot hitters on this team, I'm going to try and get him to swing and miss. And would you look at that? Forrest Kumis trying to do it, but Willard sticking that bat out there, just getting a piece of it.
They're doing a good job as the runner was in motion there, going to second base. Looked like a little hit and run on there. Trying to create a run here as you're in the top of the 7th inning, trying to get something going here.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously saw Joe Fiorino miss that sac bunt attempt, so still looking to try and get a base runner in scoring position for the Diamond Hoppers. Willard takes a long look at that pitch, just missing on the outside corner, evens up at 2-2. Kumis, as we mentioned, predominantly known to start ball games for these Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, but it is his 24th birthday, so he's in there in relief as he gets a ground out towards shortstop, making the play. DJ Martinez with the underhand flip to his partner DJ over at second base, and they get the fielder's choice out at second base. 2 outs here, so Stewart's out at second.
Not hit hard enough, or not hit hard enough to turn 2 there, especially with the speed of Ryan Willard down there to first base.
We've seen a lot of fielder's choices tonight. A lot
Exactly.
of soft hit ground balls.
It's been good defense, but I mean, good pitching, as we mentioned, just 2-0 here. So
Yeah, no errors either side of the ball. Now into the batter's box for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, number 13. That is Tyler Booth. Tyler Booth singled to lead off the 4th inning. He reached as far as third base, did not come around to score. Obviously, Hoppers still looking for their first run here as Booth takes one outside, and the count goes to 2-0.
So Hoppers looking for that first run as they scored 7 yesterday on a 2-game win streak, so trying to extend that against the first-place Beavers. But Tyler Booth, a big bat. Let's see if he can tie this ball game up here.
Booth drives this one deep into left center field. Kyle Richards running, trying to make the catch, but it is out of his range. It's going to bounce off the warning track and reach the fence, but making the throw, almost the out. Trying to get the play out at home plate was DJ Martinez, the cutoff man, making the play down at home plate. He's safe. Ryan Willard, such
Rich,
a close play.
That would have been out had Ortega caught that ball.
It was a great relay, starting with Kyle Richards. He ran out into left center field on that warning track, made a laser throw to the shortstop, DJ Martinez. Martinez continued that and threw a laser, just a one-hopper, to the catcher, Ray Ortega. seemed like a play that could have been stopped. It wasn't a bad throw by any means from DJ Martinez. Would have been, he beat the runner by 2-3 steps easily, but not being able to hold on to it was Ray Ortega. So the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have their first run of the ball game. Willard comes around to score, and making it all the way to third base is Tyler Booth. So Alex Delgado looks at his first pitch for a strike, looks at another one for a ball to even up the count at 1-1. Forrest Kumis giving up a couple of big hits here and 1 run as he tries to get out of the jam. 2 down as Delgado swings and misses on that pitch. Last thing you want to do is give up the tying run if you're Forrest Kumis after a great job by Alex Kinch going 5 innings, giving up only 5 hits on 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Delgado lines this one out right to the left fielder, Dave Pepe. So Diamond Hoppers get 1 back. They cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 in favor of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. We will now head to stretch time at Jimmy John's Field as we're in the middle of the 7th inning. You're listening to the United Shore Professional League YouTube channel.
And we're back here at Jimmy John's Field for the bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher, yesterday's birthday boy, Rich. It'll be Jared Gaynor. This is Jared's 7th game of the season. 6-foot left-hander, 180 pounds. He is 0-1 on the season, 7.04 ERA. As I mentioned, this will be his 7th game. 7.2 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 5 base on balls, 13 hits. So you want to see those hits decreased a little bit there, but 10 strikeouts. You like that number out of 7 2/3. Gaynor will try to hold the Beavers scoreless here as the Diamond Hoppers did a good job rallying there off Tyler Booth's triple there on that last half inning.
Yes, sir. So the left-hander, Jared Gaynor, out onto the mound now for the Diamond Hoppers. First batter he will face is the third baseman of this Birmingham Bloomfield team. That is Dan Kennan.
And now batting for the Beavers, number 10, third baseman, Dan Kennan.
It's turned out to be a really good baseball game here. 2-1, great pitching here, timely hitting, clean defense, Rich.
Yeah, no errors on the day for either side. It's 2-1 in favor of the Beavers. Diamond Hoppers only 1 run on 8 hits, and Dan Kennan's going to take the first
That
pitch
looked like it hurt.
from the new pitcher right off the kneecap. Not something you want to see. Obviously, you don't want to see it to happen to anybody, but Dan Kennan, one of those everyday players over there at third base for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. He's limping down towards first base.
Now you got a little bit of a run.
Yep, so hopefully he'll be okay. Hopefully just a bruise, but hopefully he didn't catch any bone. Last thing you want if you're the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers is another guy to go down. Obviously, Nick Wilson, who's now stepping into the batter's box, missed the last 4 games for this Beaver team.
It's been a little bit of different look of a Nick Wilson. Hasn't been the same. Struck out today twice already today.
Yeah, he was
swinging, and
he was the second out back in the first, striking out. He was the second out in the third, flying out to center field, and he was the second out, striking out back in the 5th. So obviously Nick Wilson is due on the night. He's done so much so far this season for this team, leading the league in home runs. Even with missing a couple games, he takes the first pitch for a ball. Swinging and missing on that delivery. The count goes to 1-1 for Nick Wilson. Jared Gaynor, after that scary first pitch thrown off the kneecap of Dan Kennan, he's trying to settle in here against the righty Nick Wilson. Off-speed pitch thrown. Nick Wilson obviously coming back after missing a few games. Not only is his groin probably still a little slow, but everything else is probably trying to catch up. Obviously, we're seeing him struggle a little bit here tonight, but hopefully it's just him trying to get back into the groove of playing baseball every day. We know that he was practicing with the team, so he wasn't completely taken out from his physical abilities, but the 1-2 pitch from Gaynor, home plate umpire Mark Stewart looked like he was ready to ring Nick Wilson up. But
yeah, that looked like a good pitch from Gaynor there, but caught some plate from where I was watching here. But he obviously disagreed, but barely, as you said. He almost flinched there.
Gaynor keeping an eye over there on first base for Dan Kennan. Dan Kennan on the year has 2 stolen bases, has not been caught yet. Gaynor with the 2-2 delivery, off speed. Looked good, but did break late there.
It did. That was definitely a ball, but it was a good point there. It looked good off the human eye, but a little bit on the outside corner there. So good eye from Nick Wilson. Good pitch from Gaynor because, I mean, you're going to get a lot of people offering at that.
So Gaynor, the 3-2 pitch. Nick Wilson shoots this one. Hopper down the line in left field, but we'll do it all again as he fouls this one off.
Yeah, that one would have been trouble there, but something interesting as well, if Nick Wilson gets on base, you wonder how much of a factor he's going to be running. I mean, as we've seen him walking around gingerly. He looks uncomfortable up at the plate. He is playing in the field today, but just something to keep an eye on.
You do wonder because Alex Bell obviously played the last couple of games at first base, so if Nick really was still nursing that injury, he could have DH'd. So obviously good enough to go to first base, and he's going to head that way right there as he draws the 7-pitch at-bat walk. So a hit by a pitch and a good matchup there against Wilson, but losing it was Gaynor. And now coming up to the plate with runners on first and second, the man of the hour, not maybe tonight, but in the last couple of games for this Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers squad, Alex Bell. As we mentioned, in Nick Wilson's absence, Alex Bell going 6 for 13, had a grand slam and a home run in the same inning a couple of games ago against the Utica Unicorns where they won 15-5. So big spot here with no outs for Alex Bell as he swings and fouls the first pitch from Jared Gaynor into the netting, and he's down 0-1.
Big at bat here for Alex Bell, and big out to get here for Jared Gaynor, who, as we mentioned, does have good stuff, and just the 7 innings has those 10 strikeouts. So let's see if he can win this matchup for his Diamond Hopper team. As he asked to see the signs again. Gets him.
Pitch number 10 from Jared Gaynor is fouled off once again towards that third base dugout.
That just flew in there.
Hey, even if you're not in the game, you got to pay attention here, whether you're a player, a worker, a fan. Starting to get to those later innings, and sometimes we mentioned players start to lose focus in the game. Fans definitely want to keep an eye out for foul balls. 0-2 to the batter, Alex Bell. An off-speed pitch from Jared Gaynor. I don't know where that one missed.
That was a beautiful pitch by Jared Gaynor. Beautiful pitch. Bell getting a break there in my eyes.
He got a big break, definitely. So the count is now 1-2 to the right-hander, Alex Bell. Gaynor looks back over there at Dan Kennan at second base one time and actually decides to step and think about throwing it there, but holding on to the baseball is he's now ready to deliver the 2-1 pitch to Alex Bell. And in fact, he's going to try and stick with Dan Kennan over there with the quick step-off move. And
I like the strategy, though, because that way Kennan, you get him thinking, and he's not able to get much of a lead. So that way if there is a single, maybe he's not able to score here.
definitely. And
He was drilled in the leg as well. So
right, definitely. Runner on second base. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers up 2-1, looking to add some insurance with Alex Bell on the plate. He takes the 1-2 pitch low and inside to even up the count at 2-2.
a little bit of action in the Diamond Hopper bullpen. So we'll see if Gaynor can get out of this stressful inning.
Still looking for his first out of the night. Missing high with that fastball to Alex Bell. We got another full count here for Mr. Gaynor.
Big pitch here for Gaynor.
So the leadoff hit by pitch on the first pitch from Jared Gaynor. Dan Kennan's on second. Then the full count walk to Nick Wilson. Another full count here against Alex Bell. Jared Gaynor stepping off, disagreeing with his catcher Chris Power there, but they agree on this one. Gaynor looks back at Kennan at second, throws the pitch, and wins the battle there against Alex Bell. Alex Bell will move to 0-4. That is his third strikeout on the night, so he'll toss the sombrero on when he gets back into the dugout.
Yeah, Bell not too happy there with himself swinging and missing there, but great pitch by Jared Gaynor. But it looks like that's going to be the end of the night for Gaynor here.
Paul Nochi making his way out to pitcher's mound. Hasn't made a signal yet necessarily. I've seen head coach Paul Nochi make his way out there before in a ball game. Obviously,
He also buy time.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's not the orthodox way. Normally, when you're just going out there to pep your pitcher up, it's usually the pitching coach. But Paul Nochi, the manager of this team, he does it all. Obviously, with plenty of experience.
The man, the myth, the legend, Paul Nochi for the Diamond Hoppers. So, but, you know, we've seen a lot of leadership from all these managers here. We've really been lucky enough to see this baseball unfold here. We've seen it from the beginning. Spring training to where these teams cut down their rosters. We've seen the power bats. We've seen the pitching. This has been a great thing to see so far in the first season of the USPBL.
It's been quite a show. We got quite a matchup here. Jared Gaynor versus Miles Williams. It's 2-1 in favor of the Beavers as Jared Gaynor misses on the inside corner there. First pitch thrown to Miles Williams is a ball. Gaynor now 6 strikes to 9 balls. He's got 1 out now with runners on first and second. The two-seamer not getting enough bite there late. Looked good from up here.
Might have been just a little bit high. Kind of hard to judge that strike zone all the way from up here.
The 2-0 pitch from Gaynor to Miles Williams.
Ooh.
On the outside
Friendly call
corner.
there.
Yeah, maybe a makeup call, but either way, the count is 2-1 on the batter, Miles Williams. If I'm Miles Williams here, I'm choking up, I'm grabbing that bat tight, and I'm ready to swing here because you're going to get a good pitch from Jared Gaynor. And in fact, he does. Jared Gaynor jumping up high to just stop that baseball from reaching past him. Phenomenal effort there from the pitcher. Getting the out at first base, Miles Williams out number 2. He does, in fact, move the runners. You wonder if Gaynor let that one go. It could have been a double play. Would have been tough with Miles Williams, another one of those speedsters for this Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver team.
Yeah,
Either way,
I don't think he doubles him up just because of the speed, but, you know, your reflexes take over. And Jared Gaynor showing what an athlete he is for this Diamond Hopper team here, getting 2 outs. What a job it would be if Jared Gaynor is able to pitch out of this trouble.
Yeah.
There was no outs with trouble lurking. And
we saw Conley get out of jams. We saw Miller get out of jams. We saw Lawrence get out of a bases-loaded jam. And now Gaynor had runners on first and second with nobody out, gets a strikeout for Alex Bell. The runners move from first and second to second and third on that ground out from Miles Williams.
Miles Williams gingerly
We
haven't
haven't even noticed it. Miles Williams still out on the field.
Oh, my. How big would that be? If Nick Wilson is...
You get Nick Wilson back after missing 4 games, and then right off the bat, Miles Williams. In the game that Wilson comes back, he's starting to walk off gingerly.
I would be surprised if he stays in this game the way he was walking down there, but he says he's...
Yeah, he just looked at home plate umpire Mark Stewart, shook his head no. You don't know what the home plate umpire might have asked.
You don't know what
there.
the question could have been. I
Exactly.
mean, for all we know, he could have said, "You good for dinner?" After we don't know. We're not down there on the field, but hope he's okay.
Yep. So Williams out at first base. Hopefully not out of this ball game for the Beavers. Either way, Kyle Richards now stepping into the batter's box with runners on second and third. He swings and misses at his first opportunity, chasing the fastball high and away.
Good job by Jared Gaynor. A couple pitches away from getting out of this inning.
Kyle Richards already down 0-1 in the count, protecting there, fouling it off. Out of play, out of the stadium here at Jimmy John's Field. Fan got a nice souvenir and apparently made a nice catch as the crowd cheers for the young boy. So Richards quickly down 0-2. Jared Gaynor looking to get out of this jam. Just missing on that outside corner once again with that off-speed pitch. Barely missing.
The strike zone's shrinking a little bit.
It's shrinking, it's mixing up a little bit, but either way, playing the game of baseball, you know you're not going to have the calls go your way all the time, but either way, you got to keep battling. And
what a job.
Would you look at that? Jared Gaynor.
What a job.
After giving up the first 2 runners on, he gets out of the jam. The strikeout, the ground out, the pop out there to Richards. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers threaten but do not score. They're still in the lead here just by 1. It's 2-1 in favor of the Beavers. We're through 7. You're listening to the United Shore Professional Baseball League YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's broadcast. Rich Borland here alongside Dave Siseski. If you're just joining us, you've missed a good baseball game. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers out in front of this one, 2-1. They put up 2 runs in the second inning via a couple of walks and a couple of base hits. And then in the top of the 7th, the Diamond Hoppers put together a couple of hits off the double of Tyler Booth. He drove in Ryan Willard to score. So that's where we're at right now. Chris Power stepping into the batter's box to lead off this 8th inning against the pitcher Forrest Kumis, the birthday boy.
Something to note also, Miles Williams still in this game in right field as we've seen him walk off a little gingerly.
So it's nice to see Miles Williams stay in this ball game. Obviously, Beavers only up 2-1. They're going to need the maximum effort from their players in this one. Chris Power looks at a pitch and takes it strike as the count evens up at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch now fouls back off into the netting. Chris Power on the day, still looking for his first base hit. He did reach via the walk back in the 6th.
This has been a phenomenal baseball game for us. Kumis back out there battling. See if Chris Power can get on the board here.
The 1-2 pitch from Kumis fouled off again. This one's going to exit the stadium. One thing I want to mention, yes, we're in the early part of the season, just before the halfway point. The Hoppers are 12-10 on the year. Beavers 15-9. Even though we're early, these close games, they're really going to get down to the wire. Games like this, you're going to look back on when the season ends up happening, whatever does happen.
Well, I mean, it can be the difference. I mean, from in a season getting in that championship game. So
Chris Power swinging and missing on the 2-2 delivery from Forrest Kumis. So he'll go down via the K for out number 1. Forrest Kumis did give up that run last inning, that double from Tyler Booth off the left field wall to bring in Ryan Willard. Nice to see him come back out there, get the strike off to lead things off, but it looks like Chris Newell's going to head out and take the birthday boy out of this ball game. We'll make sure it's a guaranteed fact. He's looking for the handshake and the baseball. So good job from Forrest Kumis. The birthday boy's done for this outing, but we'll give you his stats when we come back, and we'll also let you know who the new pitcher is. We'll take a quick break here. You're listening to the United Shore Professional Baseball League YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's broadcast for the USPBL. Before we let you know the new arm on the mound, Forrest Kumis, the birthday boy, his 24th birthday today. A decent job in relief. Obviously, we mentioned he's predominantly a starter for this Birmingham Bloomfield club, 4-0 on the year. Throws 2.1 innings, gives up 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, facing 12 batters. We got a lefty now on the mound for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Dave, why don't you let our fans know a little bit about him?
That's number 3, Derek Schneider, the 6'1", 185 lefty from Portage, Michigan, Western Michigan University. So got a Bronco in here.
I'll still be nice, as I am a Chippewa currently. So
but
no bias whatsoever here as we're broadcasting here live from Jimmy John's Field, but
he's 2-1 on the season, 3.68 ERA, 7 1/3, 9 strikeouts, 4 base on balls. So the Broncos pitch pretty well so far.
I don't normally
Mr.
like
Chip.
to credit any Broncos, but I'll try my best to stay a little unbiased here. He is doing a good job here throughout this season.
But all jokes aside, we want all these guys to succeed, and I'm sure he'd say the same thing to you.
Yes, most definitely. So Caswell quickly down 0-1, takes his second pitch from the new pitcher, Derek Schneider, outside, evens up at 1-1 apiece. And actually, we should probably mention this. This is Corey Caswell batting. He's pinch hitting for Jamie McMillan.
That was a quick pinch hit there.
Yeah, quick pitch hit. Didn't even notice it for a quick second. So that quick at-bat for Corey Caswell. He grounds out to shortstop over there to DJ Martinez. So 2 quick outs here. Forrest Kumis starting things off, striking out Chris Power. And in the spot for Jamie McMillan, Corey Caswell grounding out there.
Here's
so
a patient at bat, a patient batter coming up. Colin Willis had a nice job up there showing a good eye. 2 walks on the day.
Colin Willis, like you said, 2 walks, still looking for his first hit. looks at this first delivery from Schneider for a strike. Another pitch thrown there, this time a little outside from the left-hander Schneider. This count evens up at 1-1. As we mentioned, Willis, one of the new faces of this Diamond Hopper team, but fitting right in as he takes this one, a little off-speed action outside, and he's ahead in the count 2-1. The 2-1 pitch from Schneider missing low and outside there, so he's behind in the count 3-1. It's nice that the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers got the 2 quick outs, but the count now 3-1 on the batter, Willis. Don't want to lose him here if you're Schneider. Nice off-speed bringing there to fool the left-hander Willis.
This is the third 3-2 count of the day for Colin Willis.
Wow. So third 3-2 count of the day. He's worked 2 walks. Not working it there. Fouls off, staying fighting in that left-handed batter's box.
Just getting a lot of pitches, seeing a lot of these pitchers. It's got to be annoying if you're a pitcher, but just a good job from Colin Willis.
Yeah, Willis's 4th game in the USPBL. He flies this one shallow left field towards that line. With that speed out there in left field, making it look easy is number 17, Dave Pepe. So we're through 7.5, and the Beavers still up 2-1. You're listening to the United Shore Professional Baseball League YouTube channel.
We're back here at Jimmy John's Field. Dave Siseski alongside Rich Borland. New pitcher on the mound for these East Side Diamond Hoppers. That's going to be Tatum Hendricks, number 4. Tatum Hendricks, this will be his 11th ball game, 2.29 ERA, 0-1 on the season, 15 2/3, 19 strikeouts, 15 Ks. So Tatum Hendricks been one of those golden arms out of the bullpen for the Diamond Hoppers.
So Hendricks, as my partner Dave mentioned, a lethal weapon in this bullpen for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He'll have to face off against the couple of DJs here on 70s night, DJ G and DJ Martinez.
I like that.
Yeah,
2
nice.
DJs on 70s night.
Like that?
Okay.
You like that? So 7, 8, 9 coming up. A big spot here for the Diamond Hopper pitcher as they're down 2-1 in this ball game. Going to have to really bear down and make your pitches against, yeah, we're at the bottom of the order, but for these 3 hitters at the bottom of the order, DJG has reached base every single time, 2 singles and a walk. DJ Martinez reached base twice with a double and a fielder's choice, had a stolen base, came around to score back in the second. And Ray Ortega singled back in the second and walked in the sixth. So this bottom part of the lineup, outside of 1 strikeout for DJ Martinez in the 4th inning and the double play right after that from Ortega, this bottom of the order is doing a good job. So first pitch to DJG. It's fouled off there.
Dalton Dinatale in there now at first base for McMillan. That'll be the end of the night for Jamie McMillan.
So Jamie McMillan's night is done. He was entered for Corey Caswell to hit as DJG looks at this close one. It's a ball, though. Evens up at 1-1 apiece. So McMillan started the game at first base, went 0 for 3 on the night, got entered for Corey Caswell, who grounded out to shortstop last inning. And to come in for his defensive replacement now is Dalton DiNatale, who's done a good job in his place as DJG fouls this one off. Count goes to 1-2. Dalton DiNatale on the year has started 10 games, and he's had 9 hits and 34 at-bats. So he might be able to get an at-bat here in the 9th inning as DJG hits a hard roper towards shortstop. There to make the play is Ricky Castro over there at shortstop. He can play pretty much any position out there in the field, but at shortstop where he's predominantly known to make plays, and made that one look super easy.
Yeah, very slick-handed, sure-handed shortstop. So Ricky Castro, somebody who's been heating up a little bit at the plate, always consistent at that shortstop position.
So DJ Martinez now stepping in from the right side. Tatum Hendricks looking sharp after defeating DJG. He's looking to defeat another DJ tonight in DJ Martinez as he throws his first pitch to him for a strike. 0-1 pitch from Tatum Hendricks. Hits the ground off of Chris Powers' leg and hops up into that netting here.
Tatum Hendricks, as there's a little bit of a meeting at the mound there between him and Chris Powers, got the sound of an 8th inning guy, doesn't he? That's a baseball name if I ever heard one. Yeah. Tatum Hendricks.
Yeah, it's a good name there, and it's fitting because coming into this game, 19 strikeouts in relief in 15.2 innings pitched, so doing a good job so far as Hendricks is. He throws this ball way inside to DJ Martinez, and Martinez fouls this one off of one of his body parts and grimaces a little bit, but Chris Power giving him a little bit of time there. Saw Chris Power do that the other night when one of the umpires got hit with a ricocheted foul ball. So Chris Power, one of those respectable guys here, as pretty much all of the guys in this league are. We've seen nothing but success and nothing but, what's the word I'm looking for here, Dave? These guys have just been respectable towards one another day in and day out, and it's nice to see that.
As you say the word respectable,
right on
DJG
cue, huh?
makes you look like a fool.
Yes.
And no, but honestly, we've seen a lot of sportsmanship in this league. These guys have really gelled with each other, and even though these players don't, even though there's 3 different teams, it's a brotherhood. I mean, this is the beginning of something great.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys.
This is the beginning. Us being able to be calling these games.
Yeah, just as these guys are very fortunate, you and me, it's been such a great experience so far calling these games. Obviously, both of us with experience, you at Oakland, me at Central, but to be able to call games for a professional baseball league, it's
we've already said what Mr. Appleby put together here. It's just spectacular, and it's been a huge success.
Ortega, with his first pitch, fouls this one off down the left field line. Tatum Hendricks, 7 strikes to 3 balls, so he's thrown 10 pitches so far in this one. Ortega 1 for 2 on the day, as we mentioned, reached base twice with the walk and the single.
This is really, as Hendricks throws over to first base, this is really, I know we've said it many times, but this has been a great ball game. This has been a great ball game. Runs coming in the 2nd and the 7th inning here, but been a tale of the bullpen so far.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of games where teams take control early, but DJ Martinez stealing second base with that speed, forcing Chris Power to make a quick throw, and it gets past the second baseman, Cam Stewart.
Big break there.
Yeah, definitely. And so DJ Martinez taking full advantage, going from first to third base in a matter of seconds. as his Beaver jersey, you can't tell what color that one is anymore. It is nothing
And you can't
but dirt.
You can't walk Ortega here because to set up the double play, because then you start the top of the order with Dave Pepe. So tough spot here.
Ortega hits a chopper towards third base. Alex Delgado, night in and night out over there at third base, making plays with ease, and he's keeping DJ Martinez over there at third base. He knew Ortega doesn't have the greatest speed out there being the catcher for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, but it's a two-step process. You got to stop the ball from getting down the line to force that runner to stop and freeze down the line right at third base.
Yeah.
And then the part two, throwing it over to first base. It was a great job, and he's shown tremendous defensive talents so far throughout this season. So Dave Pepe now in to try and salvage his previous hitters, the couple of DJs. DJ over there at third base is Martinez. G led things off with a ground out. Dave Pepe looks at another one. Count quickly 2-0. Tatum Hendricks going to have to work back in here. Dave Pepe, one of the everyday hitters, batting leadoff for this Beaver team. 2-0 pitch is shot towards the right field line in the infield. Making the play over at first base is Dalton DiNatale. He'll flip it to the pitcher, Tatum Hendricks. Good PFP action there from the infield of the Eastside Diamond Hopper team. We're headed to the top of the ninth as the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers still lead this one. It's a close one here, 2-1 in favor of those Beavers. We're headed to the top of the eighth inning as the Beavers try to close this one out. You're listening to the United Shore Professional League YouTube channel.
We're back at Jimmy John's Field here for the top of the ninth inning. Michael Doloff on the mound. Doloff, this will be his 10th game of the season, 2-0, .93 ERA. This is his fourth opportunity for a save. He's 3-3 on the season, 9.2 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 2 base on balls, 8 hits. He's been dominant out there, but these Hoppers got a little fight in them. We'll see if they can make something happen.
Yeah, Diamond Hoppers in their last chance to either tie or take the lead here in the top of the ninth inning. Before we start off this ninth inning, we'd like to recognize Alex Kinch, the starter for this Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver squad, being the O'Reilly spark plug of the game here at Jimmy John's Field tonight. Alex Kinch went 5 innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, no earned runs, only 2 walks, only 2 strikeouts, but was very efficient through those 5 innings, and he's in line for the win tonight if all goes accordingly with the new arm on the mound.
Yeah, the O'Reilly spark plug player of the game announced every game over the Jimmy John's big screen out there in left center field.
Ricky Castro looking at pitch number 1 for a strike, and then looking at another one, a really late call there from home plate umpire Mark Stewart. Ray Ortega did not catch that baseball. Maybe that is something that had to do with the late call. But either way, Ricky Castro's quickly down 0-2 against Mike Doloff. Doloff tried to get him to chase there with a ball low and away.
A tough task for Ricky Castro, down 1-2 here, but see if he can get on any way possible here and start a little bit of a rally for the Diamond Hoppers.
Doloff throwing high heat, trying to get Castro to chase. Castro gets a piece of that one with the bat, fouls it off into the netting. He'll stay alive for at least one more pitch. The 1-2. A half swing there from Ricky Castro. If he knew out of the gate that that ball was going to be in play, he might have beat it out, but he kind of hesitated out of the gate, excuse me, and quickly goes down Castro. So 1 up, 1 down for Michael Doloff.
Yeah, Ricky Castro, lots of speed there, but like you said, got a late break on that, so a little bit of a break also for Doloff and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers getting that first batter here. That'll bring up Cam Stewart.
Cam Stewart 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles. Struck out once in the third. Doing a good job here in the 9-hole, the second baseman. As he tries to fight this one off, goes towards that third base dugout where the Beavers are. Michael Doloff, a power pitcher, obviously in his role for a reason on the year, a .93 ERA and 9.2 innings pitched. Another strike there
He
to
just
Cam Stewart.
It gets ahead of these hitters and puts you in an uncomfortable situation.
So 1-2 is the count. Nobody out, or excuse me, 1 out. Cam Stewart looks at another pitch. It goes 2-2. Stewart 14 for 64 on the season. The 2-2 pitch is driven high and deep towards the left field line. It's going to fall into that Beaver bullpen in foul territory. Cam Stewart, once again, no pun intended for 70s night, but these Eastside Diamond Hoppers staying alive, at least working the count as much as possible. Mike Doloff won the first battle, got Castro to ground out back to him. This time a ground out towards the shortstop, DJ Martinez. Routine for him, as we got quickly 2 ground outs here in the top of the 9th inning, and the Diamond Hoppers are down to their final out.
Yeah, Joe Fiorino, lots of speed here. So, as we mentioned, Fiorino leading off. Normally Luke Ortel in that spot, but you want to get him out here as Ryan Willard on deck. Ryan Willard, as we mentioned, been red hot all season long. So, big out here to get for Michael Doloff.
Yeah, Fiorino in his 18th game as he looks at the first pitch for a ball. 1 for 3 on the night. Needs the hit here to keep this Diamond Hopper team alive against the right-hander Mike Doloff, the closer of this Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver team. We've seen Eric Kimber toss a save or 2 out there for the team, but Mike Doloff doing a fantastic job quickly ahead of the batter here.
Yeah, good job by Michael Doloff, working very quickly here, getting ahead of all these batters and putting you in an uncomfortable situation.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Doloff strikes out Joe Fiorino. That's your ball game. Mike Doloff shuts the door against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Phenomenal job here tonight. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers take this one 2-1 over the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers go 16-9 on the year with that win. Hoppers fall to 12-11. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come right back with the postgame show. You're listening to the United Shore Professional Baseball League YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's postgame show. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers take this one. It was a close game tonight. The final score, Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers 2, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers 1. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers get 2 runs in the second inning, and that's all they would need for the game tonight. Forrest Kumis, the birthday boy, came in for relief, did end up giving 1 run, but that was it for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Final score for tonight, 2-1, as we mentioned, in favor of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Winning pitcher, Alex Kinch, he moves to 2-2. Connolly, the losing pitcher on the other side for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, he's 0-1 on the year now. And Michael Doloff with his 4th save of the year. So like I said one more time, Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers with their 16th win of the season. They're 16-9. Eastside Diamond Hoppers move to 12-11. Dave Siseski, my partner here, Rich Borland. Dave, any final thoughts?
Well, I mean, we just saw what this league's all about. Just a well-played baseball game from both sides here. No errors on the day, so seen some good defense. Actually, 1 error on the day, but some good defense, good pitching. This became a game that clearly early on it was going to have to be a game of bullpens. Both pitchers didn't go that long. Obviously, Alex Kinch going 5, Connolly going 4. But both pitchers did battle today, didn't have their best stuff, but made it a close contest. And we're just seeing what this league's all about, Rich. This was well played, a fun night here for everybody as the kids are running the bases now. So a lot of fun things here for everybody. We'd love for you guys to listen to us on the YouTube channel, but definitely come out and check us out here at Jimmy John's Field, Rich.
Yeah, last thoughts here before we kill the broadcast for the night. I want to remind you guys, tomorrow night's ball game starts at 7:05 as we do every Friday. We have fireworks, free popsicles, and Patron frozen margarita drink specials. It's going to be a hot one, so show up thirsty as the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers face off against the Utica Unicorns at 7:05. Gates open at 6 p.m. Tickets are still available, so hope you guys can come out and join us for a beautiful night of baseball and fireworks. Once again, Rich Borland alongside Dave Siseski. We're through 37 games here in the inaugural USPBL season. We hope you join us tomorrow. Once again, Beavers Unicorns, first pitch 7:05. We'll be on call about 10 minutes before 7. Once again, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's broadcast for the USPBL YouTube channel. Have a good night.